board game.
Yeah, but one of the more chatty people is stuck with food poisoning.
That's true.
Yeah. Uh, Before we jump into the recap and getting into session, for people who do watch this game, our streams and such, thank you. And as a note, the player for Lorelei has decided to step out of the campaign due to some mental health reasons. And we are currently short one Lufier. It is unknown if he will be joining later in the session, but he is unwell at the moment.
Lame Subway.
Yeah, that's... At the very least, blame his subway. Yeah, with that covered, last we left off, the champions of Iron, having made their way to Grimal and meeting up after some few months of separate downtime, began to make some tentative plans for direction. Made their way to Vendelius and his small town, completely circumvented a mission into the Underdark by the use of a wish from Lufier, the last of his wish from his ring, and made your way to kind of a mixed bag of immediate running arounds as you guys made your way back to Ironhold to start to wait out the time before Amartia's mother gives birth to her younger sibling, as well as getting some things prepared for eventually fighting the Hound. During this time, it was revealed by the Archfey that runs not Verwin. Oh, no, I was right. It is Verwin. Man, my memory's better than I thought it was. Anyway, the Archfey that runs Fairwin, as well as the seasoned court, her children, alerted you that it has come to their attention that Grimal is getting ready for war. This was somewhat known to you, as you guys did participate in the fights in an attempt to gain a seat on the council. However, failing at that and having to once again resurrect your friends, the council is currently sitting at voting towards war, and you have found out that a semi-recent adversary of yours is currently sitting on the council, a paladin that you last met leading a troop of orcs into Verwin, who was at the time in possession of the Void Egg, which is the current cause of the void elementals that are plaguing the world. You guys have just finished resurrecting Lufier, and Abyss has returned to you. You managed to, thankfully, remove Valeria from an accidental... Valeria and Abyss from an accidental curse, thanks to Lorelei's magic abilities. That would have bound them for a very long time in service to their guild. We are picking up. You guys have finished a long rest at a nearby inn, and as you all awaken for the day, in a very unusual for her pattern, Lorelei is awake before everyone. And while Lufier normally prepares breakfast, instead you all arrive downstairs. A large breakfast buffet has been prepared by a random chef, and Lufier, being Lufier, has assisted because he just can't sit still when there's cooking to be done. But as you guys make your way down for breakfast, Lorelei kind of gathers you up, and you see she's in very spirited mood. She's playing music and kind of giving a party atmosphere going on.
Oh. Small reminder, what's Lorelei's demeanor usually in the morning? Ronnie doesn't usually mentioned how she is, so I'm not 100% sure.
Lorelei is as Lorelei usually is, which is strangely chipper and scattered.
Okay.
Lorelei is not one for foul moods. She always gives off an air of.
Okay.
It helps her bardly ways.
All right. Yes. I'm gonna file it away as, I don't know, trying to liven the mood considering the dourness of our current situation.
Yeah, that's definitely a very safe assumption for your characters.
Mm-hmm.
A very normal thing. But yeah, you sit down to a very well prepared breakfast. You see there's an assortment of sweets prepared for today. She clearly went out and purchased some baked goods from a nearby vendor. Lufir likely led her to. You guys enjoy a very hearty and not necessarily healthy breakfast.
It's filling and gives us energy. That's all that matters.
It kind of makes you feel a little weighed down, actually. lots of heavy foods in the morning.
Fair enough.
And it's filling. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no, it's certainly filling. And as you guys begin to discuss your plans for heading to get the head of one of the deceased orcs for use as interrogation to oust the paladin that now sits on the council, the Blood Council, Lorelei takes out her stuffy that she keeps on her and sets it on the table and starts doing a little dance with it with her little rock companion. And just kind of randomly interjects in the midst of your conversation by literally throwing the stuffy at Amartia.
Okay.
Whoa.
Amartia probably, she saw the stuffy, just kind of smiles amusedly at it, and is turning back to whoever is talking as they're deliberating. So she's not even paying full attention until suddenly she realizes random stuffy being yeeted.
Yep.
Her.
You get bapped.
I get backed with a stuffy. It's like, at the, huh?
So just as a reminder, one of the stuffies is the owlbear, and one of them is the unicorn. I do not remember who had what, but those are what you have.
Lorelei had the owlbear, I had the unicorn.
Gotcha. Because it wasn't written down on his sheet, so...
Yep. I just remember something about the fact that Lorelei was very attached to the owlbear and decided to give Amartia the other snuggle beast. I just couldn't remember what the other snuggle beast was.
Anyway, after promptly throwing it to you, you see Lorelei she's got all of her stuff already packed up, and she looks like she's getting ready to head out.
Wait, don't we still need to figure out the plan?
Yes, I figured we did.
Listen, this war stuff, that's not me. I don't really care about this going on right now. And we've all got our things to go head off for. I've got a lead on my my next piece of Bishaba.
Wait, so you're
leaving.
Yep. I'll be back for that. She points at the owlbear.
But for how long?
Don't know.
Amartia is dumbfounded, and anybody paying attention to like the look on her face, she looks like she can't decide between, am I really confused at this, or do I want to throttle someone again? What? She has very mixed emotions about this.
preventing the war is useful. I'm not going to try and stop you from doing this. You're all very clearly invested. But, yeah, I don't have much of a stake.
Oh, you mean like being one of the nut jobs that lives in this world?
If he has the void egg, that would endanger all of us, including your Bashaba.
And what about-
Hard to endanger someone who's already dead. And believe me, Mom is more than capable of endangering herself.
Against the end of the world?
In case you've all forgotten, we all have to finish getting our pieces before said end of the world.
Yes, but if we don't stop this war first, that end of the world is going to come even sooner than anything.
She just comes up to you and she's like, shh, and just puts a finger up to your lips. I know, losing me is hard. I am.
She goes.
She does not stop you. But looking around,
hard.
looking around at all of you. I am, of course, the most visually appealing of our group. Valeria, of course, the close second. However, I have faith that you can deal with this without me. And as I said, I have a direction. However, my direction is changing very fast. I can't cast the Jester if he goes running again.
And how far away is this Jester?
I'm glad you asked. Coltvale. Which is why I'm in such a rush. I have to get to the other side of the world.
Oh, motherfuck. Isn't that where someone else is?
Oh, I'm aware.
Do you think you're actually able to face this guy alone?
The Jester? I should be able to. He wasn't that strong last we met him, and I stopped him dead in his tracks when he tried getting speedy.
He was a huge pain in the ass.
Yes, but we're stronger, and wiser, and better looking than then.
And how much do you want to bet that certain parties are also working with him?
Well, I'll know when I get there. And besides, you'll be along semi-shortly, I believe, if that is the case.
Ideally. Most likely. Maybe.
Most likely.
Stopped.
I'll put it this way. If I don't see you in a month for your mother's birth, something went wrong, and you should probably come find me.
Wunderbar.
Although it might take me that long to get there. I'm not sure. Boats.
Yeah, boats are a thing.
Anyway, and she goes and she gives each of you a kiss on the forehead, except for Valeria, who she just smacks your butt. Off I trot, and she just heads out. Lufir is just visibly confused. He has not said a single thing. He's just... She asked me to help with setting up this party, and now she is leaving, and I am confused.
Marty is very much feeling the Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
That is Lorelei in a nutshell.
That is Lorelei in a nutshell. It's not wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
She didn't die how she lived.
Spectacularly. And a thorn in someone's side, hopefully.
And with pure audacity.
That sounds accurate.
Very.
Though, with the luck of Bashaba on her side, she might survive. One way or the other.
Might.
I said might.
And she's not wrong that we were going to head for dealing with the Hound soon. We have been silvering our weapons for exactly this.
I know.
True.
And who knows, maybe the Jester is not with the Hound, but She is making her way towards the fray, as it were.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get to the Hound before she can. Who knows if she'll last against him?
Well, at the very least, she is certainly skilled with her magics, and she did silver her weapon, so she's got that.
At least that. So why she didn't take this? And she holds up the owl bear.
It's not like she needs to heal us anymore.
No, but never mind.
She said
Maybe
she'd be back
maybe
for
it's
it.
Yeah, maybe it's her way of like telling us that like she's not gonna. Maybe she trusts us with this.
I don't know about that. I think it's more of a, I will see you fuckers again.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're down to just the four of us. Alright.
It's fine.
We'll get through it.
She stares at Lufir when he says that.
Well, think of it this way. At least we won't have any rocks coming after us.
This time. Who knows what'll come after us. We've still got... Alright. What is our order of business? Because we have a lot of shit we need to get done.
Sure do. Let's give you guys a recap of your strategy meeting last time we had session afterwards. You guys had intended to head back to the place where you fought the orc battalion.
Yeah, it was basically a battalion.
And absconding with a head for the use of Speak with Dead to try and... You guys are trying to have a trial where you oust the paladin from his seat.
How exactly we're gonna get the trial going? That would be something she'd ask out loud of the two people that are from Ogrelal.
Lufir would let you know that in the case of ousting a dishonorable member of the Blood Council, it's usually pretty abrupt, and it's usually a council member accusing a council member.
So...
Are we gonna need a lawyer?
No. The Blood Council does not handle things that way. The council is judge, jury, and execution there.
And you have a kind of like somewhat friend on that council, right?
The current head of the Blood Council is somebody that Lufir spent some time training with in Lyle.
Alright, so that's a yes.
Yeah, that's you guys' in right now.
That's our in.
That's our nepotism.
And since none of you has access to Speak with Dead of yourselves, you would need to bargain with the Hag Coven.
Or
Did
Mamu,
Lorelai
come to
did Lorelai
bargain.
ever knew Speak with
Jesus
Dead?
Christ. I don't think she did. I told her it would be a useful roleplay spell, but I don't think she...
Took it. Okay.
Hmm.
I didn't know because she kind of left that conversation. I think we were discussing that it was either we talk to the hags or we find a druid or a cleric.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one problem with the hags is we didn't know what exactly we would be able to pay for the hags, considering how they function.
And unfortunately, Lorelai is not here to steal somebody else's hair this time.
Yep. So. Like, unless somebody is willing to sacrifice their hair for gods know what.
No.
Like whole head of hair?
No, they only need a few
Couple
locks.
strands, something like that.
Oh. I mean, I could probably just take some from my arm and use that.
It'd still be attached to you, and when it comes to hags, that's kind of playing with fire.
I can just rip it off.
No.
The issue isn't how easily it is to give them, it's what they can do with it once they have it.
That's
Oh.
what I was about to say, but yes.
Well, Abyss's character would be at least a little familiar with the hag's activities because she is from Ogrelal.
Yeah, and she has a shifter, so she has probably a lot of hair.
Well, at the very least, more body hair than your average human woman.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the concern of what will they do with the hair afterwards, because you don't know what the hags are up to. You don't know what the current science project is.
It's a hair golem.
It absolutely 100% could be a hair golem for all we know.
That'd be hilarious.
It would be, but you know what?
Vulnerable to fire, vulnerable to slashing, resistant to bludgeoning and piercing. Hair golem. It's just a lower CR flesh golem. Anyway.
I
Yeah,
hate to
moving
pop
right along.
that.
It'd just be like Cousin It.
Yeah.
It's rather hair-raising.
Hair and flesh golem combined creates human golem.
It creates a bipedal featherless...
Creates what most people consider a homunculus instead of what D&D considers a homunculus.
Yes.
Any woozles. So yeah. So we still have to do that. I still have to figure that out. Which one of us has the bag of holding?
Lufir has both.
Lufir has both. Okay. So probably at the very least get the head and then shove that mother effer into the bag of holding. Just help preserve it.
Wouldn't that piss off the hag?
No, why?
I mean, I guess just being put somewhere like that, I guess.
We're not talking about taking the hag's head.
Oh.
Talking about going and taking...
Hag.
Yeah.
I heard hag. I thought we were putting a whole hag in there.
No.
If you guys want to abduct a hag, I won't stop you from trying.
No! Do not know.
We just knock it out.
For that shit.
We knock them out.
Put them in the bag of colding so that they sleep longer than they intend to and possibly die from the cold.
That way we have...
Not to mention the 10 minutes of air that they'd have.
I mean, it's possible. I don't recommend it because it's kind of one of those things. It sounds simple on paper, but if it fucks up, we are fucked.
But yes, the head of an orc from that battalion you guys fought in Verwyn many moons ago in real life.
That's what we're going to shove in the bag of holding.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah,
At least.
That's gotta be a year ago. Maybe even 2. Or have we played 2?
I think this campaign's coming up on 2 years.
It's been over 2 years.
Oh yeah, because Illy.
Yeah, and
we have a baby to prove how old this has been.
we have at least another half a year before we finish this.
Yeah. At the rate we're going, we might wrap this campaign before we hit level 20. I might trim some things.
Especially that we have 4 people now.
That's not really much of an issue because it's a homebrew campaign. I've been scaling it myself, difficulty-wise. The major issue is that if we continue to have one session every other month, or every 3 months.
That's kind of the thing that's being pain, but
hopefully our health could get better, and I think it's usually health.
Mental health.
And physical.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you right now, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
She's right.
For one of us, especially.
Anyway.
Anyways, so moving right along. So my vote is to try and potentially, because I thought there was discussion that did say that there were druids on Ogrelol.
Yee.
They were
There's a couple of
outside.
circles. Yeah, druidic magic isn't. It's not frowned upon, but it's not. They don't consider it to be particularly useful, considering this is a mostly status by
Martial.
strength.
Yeah, mostly martial kind of.
Warlocks tend to be much more prevalent here because their power is easier to obtain, but also slightly more useful combat-wise.
Don't warlocks also have access? Certain warlocks have access to speak with dead? I feel like there are, but...
You would have an easier time going directly to the source of the warlocks, which is the hags.
Wunderbar. Which I don't like the sound of, because one, it's either we're condemning a person to whatever experimentation hags are up to, or we condemn ourselves. Neither option I like, so I kind of don't want to go with the hag route. That is my opinion on that. But so that then brings to a question of, if druids aren't seen as useful, how would their magic hold up in court?
Their magic's still magic. It's still objectively. It'd be exactly the same as if the hags cast it.
Okay, just making sure that there wasn't, like, I don't know, stupid prejudice or something like that, since there already is a little bit of stupid prejudice.
I mean, there's definitely stupid prejudice, but not about that. Magic obeys specific rules, and most people who understand magic know the rules it obeys. So
Magic is magic.
Magic is magic, and it's gonna do what it fucking wants.
it might be
Alright.
semi-rare in this world, except for Cold Veil, but those who understand magic do know the rules of it. So
Gotcha. Okay. So, which then turns to the question of how easy is it to talk to and negotiate with the druids on Ogrelol? Is any
this is about as easy as any others. There's the circle of spores out in the swamp that Abyss would have a little bit of passing knowledge from her childhood. They weren't necessarily on friendly terms with her parents, but they weren't on hostile terms. They did some trades occasionally.
they did business.
There'd be the circle of wildfire down near the waist of where Ognil is in Inks, yeah, where you just pinged.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then obviously there's like Circle of the Ocean, Circle of Swamps, Lands, Druids.
Yeah. So with that, we kind of need to figure out our plan of attack, of where we want to go, and who do we want to try and work with.
Well, first we gotta get the head.
Yes, but then we need to know where to go after we have the head.
If memory serves, your mother is still here because she had to ferry you guys.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So she'll have to ferry us back. And then she could either ferry us to the swamp. Oop! That's not what I wanted. How do I delete that?
Just select it and then hit delete.
Ah.
How could you, Shreds?
Fuck. Help. Thanks.
There we go.
There we go.
Man, you were really trying.
So
They don't live in Ohm. None of the druid circles live in the towns.
They live in the area the town is in.
Yep. Abyss can make a history check if she wants to try and recall where the Spores druids live.
Where would he land, actually? like?
Close to here.
They it's a druid commune where multiple circles practice, so they'd be in roughly the same area, the land druids for the swamp. For the shore druids, they could be anywhere along the shoreline.
No. I think you misunderstood what I said. Where would we land?
Oh,
That's a good
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't really.
Okay.
I don't take your meaning on that one.
Like, we're having to travel to
Mhm.
Ogrelol. Just trying to make sure if we're gonna have to land somewhere. Because, okay, her mom is probably gonna be the one that's taking us there, yes?
Presumably, although she needs to leave soon.
I know.
She's got her own timeline.
Yeah, I know. I'm painfully aware.
With an 8, Abyss, you recall some of the memories of visiting them while you were younger, but because it's kind of muddied memories of back then, you don't really remember where the druid commune is in the swamps. It doesn't help that the swamps all kind of blend together because very similar scenery.
Would I know what? No, wait, my parents aren't from a commune, so I wouldn't necessarily know anything about that. I was gonna ask if I knew what to look for.
Your parents trained in a commune.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean Martia's been around one.
Mm-hmm.
True.
One damage. Whoop.
So that was more what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My vote, and if other people have a different opinion, go for it. My vote is to try for the ones in the swamp because we have somebody who has even potential passing recognition. Because otherwise, I don't think it matters who we ask. All the druids have access to speak with dead. So if just druidic magic is acceptable, then we just go with any one of them. Me?
There's no dissenters.
Either the swamp or the waste. The waste is smaller.
So you're voting go for the waste instead of the swamp?
I'm saying we should
it's a
go
yes
to
or
one of
no.
those two.
That's what I said. I'm
But-
just voting swamp because Abyss has even a potential at a relationship with them, which means we have a technical in.
That's
The
fair.
slightest ins.
Very slightly.
But it's still better than Zippo.
Then we'll go with swamps.
Alright, we agree on that?
Yep.
Alright. So first things first, we have to go get the head.
Yes.
Pray there even is a head.
So no head.
Alright.
Shattered earth.
You guys.
She'll go to her mom and let her know what they've decided on and what their plan is, and kind of just to also check in on her and check in to see how she's doing, all things considered.
Your mother seems fine. She's as collected as she usually is.
That probably infuriates, but also makes keeps Amarnia calm. Like, okay, she's
Yes,
fine.
the upside of elves. Their emotions don't swing like the winds, even during pregnancy.
Apparently not.
The high elves especially.
Yep.
Anyway, your mom lets you know that this is her last day assisting you. She can get you to your location on Verwyn, and then she can bring you back to the swamps. But from there, she's got to head home and prepare.
I totally understand, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Honestly, if I wish I could cast the spell myself, but I can't. Otherwise, I would just rather you be sitting at home resting, all things considered.
Okay, you guys gather up your stuff,
Yep.
make your way outside, and like as always, you puff into little cloud peoples, silhouettes of a person made of cloud, and make your way whooshing through the air.
Walking in the air.
You arrive. Go ahead, everybody make me a perception check to try and recall whereabouts the fighting was. This is with your eyes.
Okay. That's what I needed to track. The plan. Hey, we're actually doing pretty alright.
With your space of
Yeah, technically Nate has to roll for Luffy.
Yeah, I had to set the music. There we go. Wow, he did great.
Wonderful. A+.
Fear's distracted.
This morning confused him.
Between Valeria and Amartia, you guys managed to pick out a location that looks somewhat familiar. Unfortunately, it was winter when this originally occurred, this fight. So you just kind of have to base it off of, well, it's somewhere along the road, and there was this kind of tree and that kind of tree, and so you pick out a location along the stretch of road that looks about right, and you make your landing.
Yeah. How do we want to look for a skull of some sort? Guys.
You need to find bodies of some kind.
Yeah, we're gonna need to find some actual bodies that we can use.
Alright. What's that gonna take as a roll, Nate?
Because this is a more in-depth scanning around, I will... You believe you're in the correct area. A lot of this scenery matches up plant life-wise. So go ahead and everybody give me investigation checks to start looking around for burial areas or for bones buried into the dirt, that kind of stuff.
Would I be able to persuade you survival? Because it is in, nature-esque things?
Yeah, I'll let you use survival to look for signs of essentially grave dirt.
Yes. Splant. Hey!
hey.
And for Lufir, not bad. Yeah, between the lot of you guys, it takes you the better part of an hour before you start to find some signs of tampering. You're not really sure who moved the bodies or why, but they're pretty significant ways off from the road. You guys managed to find signs of dead being buried. Some mushrooms that don't occur naturally or growing, which is what Amartia manages to find. And Valeria, as you're just kind of giving a cursory look about the area, you do find there are just the hints of some bones peeking through the dirt. They were not buried very deep. This particular one, at least. So yeah, between the four of you, you guys managed to find and exhume a body fairly quickly, all things considered. This was a large area to cover, but you rolled excessively well. And you guys are also kind of, good at these kinds of things.
Why I asked was like, can I please do survival? I'm much better at that.
Yeah, you guys exhume one of the bodies, the tattered clothes, and what remains of the mostly rotten and decayed and eaten flesh. Does appear to be an orcish descent creature of some kind.
Alright, perfect. Now we just need to get this in the bag of holding and get back to Overlaw.
Wouldn't we just need the head?
Yeah, we just need the head.
Yep.
We just need to be able to talk.
Well, Luffy,
Makes a real clean break for the neck. Spends a little bit of time just cleaning off some of the gook, using some of the cloth remains, and puts it into the bag.
On to Overlaw.
Into the swamp. Let me just add a orc skull to your bag of holding.
That would probably be a good idea.
Orc skull.
orc,
Sounds like a metal band.
orc skull.
Like,
We are Orc Skull. 1, 2, 3, 4.
roll initiative!
All right. Where would you like to land? The Abyss did
Alright,
not
okay.
recall where the settlement is. The commune.
They're cool. Coming. Okay.
Just trying to think. What would be the logic in Amarty's brain of where commune might be, judging by the landscape as they're flying over?
Martia has probably not spent any time at all in swamps.
I know.
So this would
I've
be...
spent time in a forest.
Yeah. They'd probably want wherever they sleep to be out of the sludge and the gunk.
So probably places where it's either like high elevation and dry, or maybe even where there's copse of trees to use as building, right? Not building, but like make tree houses, maybe.
Unfortunately, the latter means that the commune would be pretty hard to spot from the air.
I'm just looking for where there would be a a place where a lot of the trees are grown together, like close enough together, or is that just everywhere in the swamp?
From above, the swamp is basically just one huge treetop layer. The trees are they vary from like almost directly next to each other to like 5 feet apart, 10 feet apart. This is the perfect example of a very overgrown swamp.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thankfully, you have somebody who has at least lived here, so she can help with getting around. But it's finding the place that's going to be the issue right now.
Yeah.
The only clear patch is here where the lake is, and you can see right next to the lake is what you presume to be Ohm.
Would the druids be like completely standoffish from civilization, like have absolutely nothing to do with it, or are they just like, we don't care, but we just don't deal with them too much?
It could be either or, to be honest. Like I said, unfortunately, Abyss did not roll very well in her history check.
Boggart. Okay. I'd say let's start from the lake and go from there, because my thought I go too far from fresh water, especially if relations with the town aren't piss poor. Just like, we don't really care about you, you don't care about us, so couldn't care less type deal. How does that sound, guys? Drop at the lake and start from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else have any ideas? Nope. Cool. All right.
I'm just throwing
Yeah, I know.
shit out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys make your landing nearby to Ohm. And your mother bids you farewell before shifting into a giant eagle and taking off.
She waves after looking a bit worried, before turning back to the rest of the party. Alright, also that was a very cute sound, and I think it was a cat.
It was. The cats are fucking around with shit, sorry.
So, alright. How big is the lake?
Sizable.
Okay, can you make a comparison?
Lake Michigan. So it's larger than some states.
Un momento, por favor, this actually works for me.
If you guys were to have a boat and row your way across, it would take you, I think, 6 hours. The short side. Oh, wait, no. I'm dumb. I have a scale. This map is scaled. 16 miles, it would take you most of the day.
Okay,
to
that
boat
actually
across.
gives me an idea.
Because an adventuring day is 24 miles worth of travel.
There's a lake I have been to. I can use this for a... So it's how many miles?
16 miles short end.
Ah! Okay.
Long end 48.
Alright. So, long end's twice the width, twice Crater Lake. But it's a little bit thinner than Crater Lake. Got it. That's the lake up here in Oregon. If anybody couldn't guess. Which I have been to. So, okay, I can see it. That means we can see across, most likely. From where
You
we're
can
at-
certainly see a class, and so could Valeria probably.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying because if anybody's been to Crater Lake, you can get up to like towards the edge, close to the kind of semi-close to the edge of the crater, and actually be able to see the span across. And it's about 20 miles. So that's what I'm basing it on. Judging from where we're at, if Amartia kind of just scans the horizon line, does she notice any anomalies in...
You mean if she flies up?
Or if she flies up, that... Yeah, I don't...
Well, because if you just scan the horizon, all you see is the lake and trees.
Yeah, if she... I would like to have her fly up, but, yeah. To try and look to see if she can see anything that gives any indication of civilization that's not the town on the other side.
Even with your stellar perception, I don't think you would see anything, no.
Okay.
Being completely blunt about it, the commune is not near the lake.
Okay.
Because they don't want to be near Ohm, and Ohm's on the lake.
Fair enough.
Anybody, either of the other two would like to weigh in on something to do? Any input?
Honestly, maybe just travel the short side and then go up, maybe through here.
If you guys just start wandering the swamp, you are liable to get lost.
The only other thing I can think of is one. What time is it?
Between the... I think it takes an... Oh, right. Let's pull up the map here for a second, shall we?
Please, that would be helpful.
Okay, so you guys are currently up here. You went from Ogrelal down to about here.
Mm-hmm.
And we did the math once. I think the fly speed of the clouds means you guys can cover this distance in like 6 hours, or it was shorter than the spell. Let me check Windwalk's duration. Windwalk. That's for 8 hours. Yeah, I believe it was about 6 hours worth of travel. You did 6 hours, an hour here, 6 hours back. Oh no, 8 hours back. It would be. It's coming up on nightfall.
Okay. We should probably go into Ohm anyways, and maybe spend the night at a tavern and see if maybe anybody has any indication of where the druids might be.
Possibly.
You know, just we need a druid for druidy things.
It's not sus at all. You guys make your way into Ohm. The city is mostly tents with a very heavy fortified wooden wall that keeps some of the outside elements out of the town. There are a mash of monstrous races that live here in Ohm.
Okay. Definitely gonna be feeling weird, but that's fine. 'Tis also a monstrous race. We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
So this is mostly tents. So is it like tent city? Or
Yeah, there's not really any semblance of buildings. Most of what you guys see are race-wise are goblins and hobgoblins, some ogres. There's plenty of humans and elves, but there's also furbolgs, some lizard folk. Not a lot. You get the sense the lizard folk probably have their own colony nearby. And occasional minotaur is not uncommon.
okay. Just trying to think, because my brain thought, oh, it must be like a little town. Maybe there's a tavern. No, there's not. Probably not. That screws up the thought.
I mean, you can go ahead and make a perception check or an investigation.
My perception's a lot better, so I'll roll that instead. Shablam! 24.
There are some noticeably larger tents. One of them might be equivalent to a tavern.
She's actually gonna ask Abyss that of like, would that be like a tavern tent?
Abyss, if you would like, you can make a history check to try and recall your time in Ohm. The city is as mysterious to you as it always has been. Yeah, you never really interacted too much with the peoples in town. Once you joined the Blooded Hands, you were mostly skulking about killing your targets. You didn't spend time in any of these establishments. You don't know what tent is what.
I guess let's give it a shot.
Cool. You head towards one of the larger tents.
Yep.
Roll fudge.
I don't like this. I don't like this. Fudge.
Okay.
I don't like that.
As you approach and enter into one of the large nearby tents, certainly not a tavern that you were hoping for. Instead, you immediately turn around and leave as basically everybody inside is naked. You don't know what it is. You don't care. You were leaving.
Yep.
Abyss and Valeria, this building is, for lack of a better term, a spawning pit. The town doesn't necessarily believe in families. It's very communal raising. So as such, while you might maintain a mate for long periods, marriage is not much of a thing here in Ohm.
Marcia, very embarrassed, just makes her ways and she's like, okay, either somebody else make an attempt, or we come up with a different plan, because clearly this wasn't what I expected.
I think Shreds is still away, so
Shreds is still away, so
it's on you, Abyss. Roll fate. Roll fudge.
Marcia's not going to be the one that walks in this time. She is not going to judge.
Okay.
She's not going to say it.
The next large tent that you guys head into is still not a tavern, but it's better. This appears to be some form of communal dining area. There's a large pot in the center. It's just boiling all sorts of soups all into one.
Good soup.
So you guys found dinner for the night?
Very least. Well, I guess is it okay to just join in, or maybe we could just talk to someone?
I mean, there's certainly plenty of peoples around of mixed races.
Of the four of us, who looks like they blend in the best, or like match best with the people that are around? I think I know the
Well, there's two tieflings, which look very out of place, because you don't see any tieflings in this town.
Welcome
back.
Welcome back.
You guys are currently at like a communal eating area. Yeah, there's no tieflings. There's certainly plenty of humans, hobgoblins, and goblins. So Abyss fits in decently well. She mostly just looks like a kind of a slightly hairier human with some slight discoloration, especially her hair.
Slight.
Considering she used to be yellow,
Fair.
she looks more human now than she used to.
Anyways.
And
At the moment, you might just be blue later.
there are occasional elves, but they're pretty rare, and they're mostly wood elves. So Lufia kind of sticks out since he's currently, I think he's still a drow. I don't remember if we ever.
I think he is still a drow. I'm pretty sure he's still a drow.
He is.
I can just
I
look
thought
at
he
his.
became a high elf.
No, he's a drow.
because the reason why he became a drow was because originally he
was
escort,
being an elf.
Yeah, he's still a drow.
and then
Yeah, he got turned into a drow for the Underdark mission, and then he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wish.
Oh, I
Screw
missed-
you. Screw your
I missed
Underdark
the
mission.
underground mission because I had cramps, I think.
I remember telling him about
We
that.
didn't have an underground mission. He wished about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I missed the wish. I missed that session.
Yeah. No, I think I remember because ironically you had cramps the week after I did. Timing, gotta love it.
Anyway, yeah, Abyss probably fits in best amongst the four of you.
Abyss, do you think you could maybe ask if directions to just some place where we could stay the night, and B, if anyone here knows of where there might be druids to talk to? I mean, you could just say one of us is wanting to meet the druids of the area, because they're from a family of druids, and that's not a lie.
Yeah, I can ask around.
Sweet, because you look like you fit better than the rest of us, so they might be more receptive to you. Maybe.
That's fair.
That's my assumption.
Alright. So, Abyss, who would you like to approach? People who are eating, people who are attending the gigantic pot, humans, goblins, hobgoblins.
Probably get to the people at the pot because I don't want to disturb the people that are eating.
Okay. You see there's a group of goblins that are tending the pot. There's a small staircase that leads up onto a deck that has been built around the pot because of how large it is. So you make your way over. There's a small line of people lining up to get food from the pot. And you go and approach some of the, I suppose you would call them chefs. They're not necessarily chefs, they're just kind of controlling the people.
They are controlling the stew, so that technically is chef thing.
They're cooks. They're cooking.
Yeah.
As you approach, some of them turn towards you. Got ourselves a stranger here. Welcome. New faces are always welcome.
Thank you. We're looking for a druid. We have someone that is looking for a druid as they know a family of druids.
So you're searching for that commune that lives out in the swamps then, aye?
Yes.
Well, can't be saying I know which direction they be in. You'd be better off asking round to the communal tent. That's where travellers be staying, those who pass through.
Which tent is that?
It's the patchwork tent. It's sort of made out of mishmash bits and bobs from people's. It's not too hard to miss. It's over on the northern end.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Will you be joining us for dinner?
We'll see with the rest of the group.
Right, well, because you're an outsider, we'll just let you know that there's a buy-in. You either contribute ingredients to the stew, or you contribute some coin. A single bowl is 5 silver, and the stew changes based on who adds what.
Cool.
It's a very interesting sort of mixed up flavors. I doubt you'll ever be finding something like this anywhere else. Except maybe Lyle.
Well, thank you for the info.
They hold out a hand.
She puts in 5 silver.
Much obliged. Well, looking forward to you coming up for a bowl sometime.
Me too.
And she turns and heads back to stirring the stew with a gigantic boat oar. Make your way back to the party members and share the information you have gained. Lufir is very interested in the stew.
So, well, I stepped away to go turn on my light. What was the information that we found out?
The communal tent is up near the north end of town, and it's very patchwork. It makes it easier to find. It's made out of assorted bits and bobs. They don't know where the Druid commune is. She said it'd be best to ask there at the communal tent.
Fair enough.
It's 5 silver for a buy-in if you want a bowl of the stew, or you can contribute ingredients.
I mean, I can easily get my own bowl. Hell, I could get a bowl for me and Rachacha with just a single piece of gold. Actually, yeah, Rachacha's big enough. He probably has his own bowl, doesn't he?
I mean, he can certainly eat his own bowl. I don't know if you've made one for him.
No, that's what I'm meaning, is he can have his own bowl of
Oh,
food
yeah.
because he's so big.
Mm.
Well, should we just stick around just to get a bite to eat before toddling off and seeing if we can find out more?
Oh, well, I certainly want to try this before we go.
Of pecking course you do.
What? It is professional curiosities.
Isn't this basically
You see Lufir has already wandered away.
You and your food.
It is.
Gonna get you in trouble one day.
Certainly got us in trouble once.
I forget, there's actually a dish that is specifically this, and it's just a stew where everything at the end of the day was added into the stew for the community, and it was allowed to boil over for several days if it lasted.
I think... No, not borscht. Is it?
It's
No.
communal stew.
It is communal stew, but I know what you're talking about.
I don't think it's borscht.
No. But yeah.
As long as you know what I'm referring to, then you kind of get the idea of what this is. It's scraps turned into a meal. And this at this size, it's considerable amounts of just what the fuck. All sorts of vegetables, scraps of meat, bread that's been torn up and just become part of the sauce, different spices and broths and such.
Not a vegetarian. That would not go well.
It would go just fine. You got your berries.
I mean, yeah, but then she gets to miss out on decent food. It'd just be good berries. Any woozles. Especially since aren't good berries in this not so good berries.
They don't taste so good.
Yeah.
It's like medicine.
Not so tasteful good berries.
Mm.
So how many of us are eating? I might as well just yoink some of the gold.
There's 5 of you total. Lufir's adding ingredients.
Is or is not?
He's contributing from his spice pouch. He actually specifically asks to taste the stew before he gives them spice. And he ends up just kind of giving them a lot of salt.
Fair enough. Just like a whole salt lump. Okay. Are you gonna add any ingredients, Valeria?
I don't have anything that would be edible.
I mean, if you guys have rations left, I don't think you do.
I apparently have squirrel rations, but I don't know if that's accurate.
Those are gone.
Yeah. I may or may not need to clean this thing out on occasion. Oh, there might be stuff from the preservation pouch.
That's where all the good berries are right now.
Yeah. I wonder what that would do to the stew, adding some good berries.
Well, they lose their magic after a day and just become bitter berries, so it wouldn't be a bad addition. There's certainly other weird things that go into this stew. It'd just be... It would lose its potency. One person randomly takes a bite and then is just like, I'm done.
Oh, this was a waste of stew.
Yeah, no, we're not. We'll experiment with good berries another day. I'll just give.
We'll experiment with good berries in the next campaign, damn it.
Yeah.
Because Dalinar has rules for that. Because there's good berry wine in Dalinar.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
Amartya will offer up 2 gold so that she, Rachacha, and Valeria eat, and she won't take any change.
Well, there's 4 of you that still need to contribute, unless Abyss is adding ingredients.
I thought Abyss
Oh.
just paid for hers.
No. She only went up and chatted. She didn't pay for that. She had to pay for the information.
Oh, that's what she was paying for. Okay, never mind. So
Yeah, I'll
or,
put some stuff in
cool.
the stew.
Oh, you want to put something in the stew?
Do you
Yeah.
have anything on your sheet, or are you...
I have a ration.
Great. That counts.
Yeah.
Pull out your ration and add some dried meats, some dried berries, and tear up the chunk of hardtack and add it into the stew.
Damn, if only I was able to, like, go visit my pond. Could have come up with some, like, wacky thing to add to the stew. I don't know.
Here, have a jar of fucking honey.
Hey, that's not always a bad idea, depending on what depending on what's already in it.
Well, this is a huge pot, so a jar of honey
Yeah.
would be fine.
The jar of honey wouldn't do much.
I know.
Two
That's
Depend-
fine.
well,
of honey.
Depends on how large the jar is. If this is a Winnie the Pooh jar of honey, that might have some pretty big impact.
You know what? It's a Winnie the Pooh jar.
It's an entire Winnie the Pooh of honey.
Mhm.
She'll make a point to get a jar of honey for the next time she visits her, anyways, or her demi-plane.
Casket of honey.
Yeah, why not?
Anyway, you guys are
Basket of honey.
each given a bowl of stew. Some of you get mostly vegetables and some bread chunks. Some of you get some meat. You see, they try to do their best to make sure everybody gets at least a little bit of meat, but it's hard to tell. The flavors are just kind of all over the place, but in the best sort of way.
In the best sort of way.
This stew, based on Lufir's guess, has been cooking for months.
Hmm.
So there's all sorts of complex flavors from, meat and bread and vegetables that have completely and utterly broken down and are part of the sauce. And then there's some, fresher vegetables that are starting to get soft. There's textures, all sorts of weird but good flavors. You see a lot of people tend to kind of contribute the same things over and over, things that are easily foraged or things that they eat on a regular basis. So there's, it's pretty noticeable what things are added in regularly. There's mushrooms that get added regularly, carrots, root vegetables, as well as what appears to be some kind of vine. You're not really sure what that one's about, but whatever, it's cooked.
some sort of vine. Maybe Martia will try and recreate it in her demi-plane just to see what it is.
Maybe.
Well,
Accidentally create an entire vine of cooked spaghetti.
hey, for all she knows. Now that song is stuck in my head. On top of spaghetti, all covered with cheese. Anyways, so Amartya is eating and kind of just like, this is kind of ingenious.
It's convenient.
Not bad.
It's a good way to save on your scraps and leftovers at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't mind is the little bits of slightly burned things. You see, he's picking out some blackened stuff, which it doesn't smell burnt. It just looks blackened.
How do you know it's burnt?
Well, I just don't like the flavor of it. It's bitter, like burnt things.
She tries to
fair.
see if she can find a little bit of it in her own soup.
It takes a little bit of digging around, but you do find it. It's some kind of very thin plant.
Luffy, I don't think that's burnt. I think it's a plant. Like one that tastes bitter.
Yeah, well, I seem to have gotten quite a bit more of it than you, and I'm not. It's ruining the experience.
Alright, suit yourself.
Here, you can have some of mine. He gives you some of them. It's a kind of leaf comparable to bay leaves, but they're certainly very overcooked.
Mm-hmm.
And they've turned bitter.
Like, from the taste of it, can she tell what it is, or is it just so out of? Is it?
This is something that's not at all native to where you would recognize it.
I think as much as she may not like.
If it weren't overcooked, he might know what it is.
Yeah. As much as she may not be excited about it, she's kind of like, just really curious as to what plant is this, and she's just kind of carefully. I don't know if I know what it is. She's just like really curious about what this what this plant she's chewing on is, what it tastes like. She's kind of curious on now what it does.
At some point, you either swallow it or spit it out, because eating it just on itself is very bitter.
Yeah, no,
The coloration and bitterness definitely gives off a burnt vibe, because typically when you burn plants, they do get very bitter and kind of ashy. It doesn't have that texture of something that's burned.
Gotcha. No, yeah, it's just one of those things while she's chewing on it at the time before she eventually swallows it down. It's just like, I'm really curious as to what this is. I would like to know.
Anyway, you guys finish your communal stew, and you go and return your bowls to the wash area, which is on the way out. You see there's just a large tub where they rinse them out, and then there's another tub where they get, cleaner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How are people reacting to Rachacha?
Not at all.
Alright. Like, no one's looking over, no one's like staring or anything. They're just like, it's a squirrel.
Yep.
Alright then.
Yeah, it puts you at odds a little bit. There are people who are accompanied by animals, so you get the sense that having an animal companion isn't strange. What worries you is that they aren't concerned about his size for a squirrel.
Hey, Abyss! Fear. Are abnormally sized animals traditional here?
Well, I have no clue. The swamps are not somewhere I ever ventured.
That's odd. But okay then. You, Abyss.
It is a swamp, so large animals kind of do appear around here.
But yeah, there's large animals, but then there's gestures to Rachacha.
You personally, Abyss, back when you were living with your parents, watched them hunt down a rat larger than Rachacha.
We've seen rats larger than Rachacha here.
Oh!
You have seen a rat the size of a bear, a fully grown brown bear.
Huh.
See, we got a case of RUS. Points to those who know that reference.
Anyway,
All right then.
I don't think anybody got it.
RUS? Princess Bride?
Mm-mm.
I figured it was a Princess Bride reference, but I had no idea what the reference is. I haven't watched The Princess Bride in a long time, and I personally don't care for the movie that much.
Rodents of unusual size. That's what you call the rats in the fire swamp.
Oh, I thought they were just fire swamp rats.
Oh.
Anyway,
Anyways.
yes, big rats live in the swamp. Real big rats.
You.
Well then.
Mungala gungala bungala.
That's a sentence.
Big bonkadonkin rats. Talking some huge hoinky boinky badonker rats.
No, not rats with poop.
I guess people
it's-
have at home here.
They also probably think he's a rat.
But yeah, no, that's exactly what I meant.
Anyway, you guys, after finishing your meal, make your way up towards the northern end of town before finding fairly, kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, a very patchwork tent made of various different materials of strange colors. You make your way inside and you see that there is a slat wooden floor, and there are cots set up along the outsides. There's a large communal fire in the center. And you see there are travelers of various
Degrees.
denominations. Some merchant types. Some of them look like pilgrims. There are a number of merchants. There appears to be at least two groups of what you might consider to be political traveling parties, which wouldn't be too abnormal considering that the person who runs Ohm is in Grimal right now because the Blood Council is in session.
All right. Well, I'd say maybe starting with like merchants would be a good idea because they might have dealings with druids, trade and stuff like that. Makes sense.
Who will lead this inquiry?
Abyss just went, nope.
Oh gosh. I'm glad you said something, because Discord doesn't make noises when I'm streaming.
Oh, well, yes, Abyss lost connection.
Okay.
Right when you asked that question.
We'll give her a few minutes.
Okay.
Either of you want to lead the inquiry while we wait?
Valeria, how's your talking?
Shred's AFK.
Oh,
Shreds.
fuck.
Oh fuck, man.
I mean, I could talk.
You are the most charismatic member of the party now that Lorelei is gone. Congratulations, Shreds. You're the new face.
I'm the new face.
You're the new face of the party.
The most sneakiest of us all is the new face of the party.
God help you all.
I know. Yay, Abyss is back.
Welcome back.
Okay.
All right, so Valeria, you're gonna go talk to someone about druids. Who do you want to go approach?
Who looks like they just got back from an adventure?
Are you looking for like a hunting party, or are you looking for a group that looks somewhat as similar to you guys, like an actual
Hunting
adventuring
party.
party? Okay. Go ahead and make me an insight check.
Inside. At normal.
Okay. Doing your best to try and read the groups based on their attire and their their behaviorisms. There is a group that seems to be here as hunters, game hunters of some kind. They're nearby the cots that they're using. You do see there's some weapons that are stowed amongst their materials.
Fuck. I don't know how to do this talking.
You say a thing, and I reply, and if it requires a roll, I let you know.
I get that name.
Yeah, it's,
Tune the Valeria into your brain.
you just, you tell me what you want to talk to them about. You don't have to role play it out necessarily. You let me know what you want to talk to them about.
I just want to know where they got back from and what they were hunting.
Okay. What's your passive persuasion? What's your persuasion modifier plus 10?
It's 8.
So your modifier is 8
Yeah.
plus 10, so 18. I won't ask for you to roll then. You have an air about you that you're basically a femme fatale. You know exactly how to worm your way into conversations. So you make your way over to them and take a seat and lay on a little bit of your feminine charms to one of the males. They let you know that they're hunting specific game out in these swamps. They just got back from a hunting today. So far, they have failed every time because they let you know that they are hunting for a specific displacer beast.
Displacer beast.
So, Valeria wouldn't know what a displacer beast. They describe it as a large panther-like creature with two, like a split tail that can almost warp and shift itself around.
It's actually really cool.
They're dangerous as fuck to those who are untrained and surprised.
They're a pain in the ass.
Sound
Cool,
cool
but
though.
a pain in the ass.
Have one as a pet. Yes.
Good luck.
Go ahead.
While Valeria's doing this, Amartya is going to look for anybody who is looks like they're in charge of the tents, and greet them. Let them know that they're looking for just needing to stay the night for 3 cots. Just because she assumes it works like a tavern, and she doesn't.
Okay.
Just pick the cot.
Go ahead and also give me an insight check to try and read the behavior of the room.
Yeah. Insight. There's my insight.
Yeah, Shreds.
Next I'll ask him if he spotted anybody in the woods. We're missing one of our party members, and they went off in this direction.
Okay.
Why?
Give me a deception check on this one. The DC is not high because they're already a little buttered up, but a blatant lie. Okay. They let you know they haven't seen any random passerbys, especially none as kitted out as you and your party. But odds are if they wandered into the swamp alone, they're probably dead. if the giant dire rats didn't get them, then a displacer beast probably would. Hey man, that's just the direction his brain went, so he rolled with it. 21. You do not see anybody that seems to be like taking coin from people coming in. That it doesn't seem to be an owner to this tent.
Oh.
There are, merchants who are doing a little bit of business, and there's certainly people who are asking you to examine their wares and the like. But no, this does not appear to be a business. Because you did get above a 20, most people, you do see a couple of new arrivals. Most people seem to just claim a cot, and it's theirs until they leave. You do also notice, while no one necessarily runs this place, there are people who are keeping very keen eye on everyone.
Alright then. She'll just lean to Abyss, who I'm assuming is still around her. It's like, let's just pick a spot, park it, and wait for Valeria to get done with her shenanigans.
Espionage.
I don't know. Actually, can Amartia hear these shenanigans?
Oh no, this is quite an active area.
Okay. Because her passive perception with just her hearing is 22.
Yeah, no, trying to focus in on a particular conversation is difficult in such a busy area.
Okay.
Especially when you're being pestered by merchants.
Fair enough. I'm just making sure because it's just like she'll just continue with the shenanigans comment, but not be nearly as like what the fucking, because she doesn't know that Valeria is literally espionage right now. Oh god, that was almost bad.
All right, where do you want to go next with this conversation? You'll mention that the party member was looking for druids. If they have any idea where the druids might be. Go ahead and give me a persuasion on this one.
Persuasion.
E.
I'm using up all my good rolls. Okay.
I mean, to be perfectly honest here, you're actually rolling fairly poor.
I know, but
because there was a 9 and an 8 on these two last rolls.
I know.
It's just that you're real good at what you do. Femme fatale, for sure.
Sorry, rogue.
Yeah, but she's also a rogue that actually took deception and persuasion. Just took both. And perception, I think.
Persuasion, perception, deception, investigation, stealth, and acrobatics.
Yeah, rogues are skill whores.
She's also got really good Shreds. This is before I implemented the maximum that you could roll for. Shreds has an insane stat array.
I got really lucky on my rolls.
Yeah, your total was like well above 90. Anyway, they don't particularly have any connection to the druids. They are aware of them, mostly because they try to avoid them. Hunters aren't particularly fond of druids. They usually kind of get in the way, because most druids like to preserve the nature around them. They do let you know that there are some guides for hire that can be found here in the tent. And he points to some of the people that are keeping real close eye on everyone.
Well, I will thank them for their information and wish them luck on their next hunt.
The one that you've been mostly interacting with does try to press his luck, and he asks for a kiss for luck.
I'll give him a peck on the cheek On the
On the
key.
check. Heck yeah.
On the check. Hey, back on the check.
Great. That'll be $20. You can either pay me in bills or I do accept a check. Oh, the check. Nice. Done.
Word, I can forge this.
Yeah, you give him a quick peck on the cheek, and while you're walking away, you can just kind of hear them celebrating a little bit, gloating to his companions. They are a group of 5, 2 of which are female. They were not they were not having that kiss thing. They're like, you could have just asked us for that. What is wrong with you?
Bet you one of them is dating him.
Or they have a thing for him.
Yeah, that too.
Anyway, do you return to Abyss and Amartia with your newfound information? And Luffy. Luffy's technically here. Even if his player isn't.
He's here in spirit.
No. Luffy is totally like on the cot, snoring up a storm. That's how it is.
Oh, he's an elf. He doesn't sleep.
I'm kidding. Alright. Well, did you get any info? Got a lead?
Well, I've found that the gods can give us more answers, probably, and that there are these teleporting beasts.
Teleporting beasts?
They look like panthers.
Does this sound familiar at all?
You don't even know what panthers are.
Fair enough. What's a panther?
A big black cat.
Now?
Do you know what? No, I wouldn't even. I wouldn't know what a tiger is.
You would not.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling there's just no way Marty is gonna even be able to try and roll a nature.
She could probably explain it better than me.
You're doing fine.
But
I mean, a teleporting giant cat.
they warp around apparently. And it's good to know since we're going to be wandering around.
Yeah, that's a wreck.
Them and the rats apparently are a problem.
Rats?
Yeah, the big rats that we were just talking about.
Oh, yeah. We'll be fine. We'll be fine, right?
I'm sure we will.
So, we just need to talk to one of the guards, and they might be able to give us a bit of direction.
From what he told me, yes.
Well, do you want to go for that, or?
I mean, I can. We all can. Doesn't matter to me.
No, I mean, you seem to do pretty well with that group, so.
Well, they did get back from a hunt, and they failed, so their spirits were down.
And so you lifted them back up? Is that what you're saying?
She threw their spirits to the ground and curb stomped them.
Teeth shattered everywhere.
I mean, there's people who are into it. So, what you guys doing?
I'd say keep going, but if you don't want to, I'll go up.
I wasn't able to get it done.
I mean, if you can't get it with this guard, then I'll go try another.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
You do have the innocence about you.
Does that matter?
He kind of like gives you a blank, like a really stare, and kind of just gestures. What part of this looks innocent to you?
Don't worry about it.
She'll get up, and with Ratchet next to her, go up to one of the guards. Excuse me?
Doesn't respond, just acknowledges your presence.
Sorry, kind of was wondering if maybe you had a little info where we could, find maybe the local, find a local druid in the area. Or wherever, a commune might be.
Just gives a slight nod.
Okay. Can I have that information?
Shakes their head.
Can I ask why not?
He points towards the entrance to the tent, and you can see, because the flaps are open, he's pointing to the tent just across the way.
I don't... Sorry, I'm a little new, so... Well, actually not a lot of new. So I don't fully understand.
Alright, I'll spell it out for you. If you want to hire a guard, you gotta go across the way. I can't... I'm not allowed to sell my services while I'm working guard duty.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that didn't quite get explained. My apologies.
It's fine. Just gives a nod and goes back to very intently watching everything around them now that they've been somewhat distracted.
Mm-hmm. She just kind of gives a nervous smile and then just kind of gestures to the party of just like 1 minute and then heads out of the tent with Rachacha.
Mm-hmm.
And heads to where the guard had pointed, the tent across the way.
Mm-hmm. Another sizable tent. You make your way inside. You see it's a similar setup, although it's much more secluded.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that there are, rather than just open cots, there's like sections. But there's some kind of grizzled figures sitting around. You get the sense that they're probably in the similar business as your parents. They are guides through the swamp. Some of them have animal companions of their own, including a giant rat. Not the size of Rachacha, but pretty sizable.
Like, is Rachacha shorter or bigger?
Rachacha's bigger.
Rachacha's bigger, okay. Excuse me, I was directed here to look for a guide?
They all perk up immediately.
Hi.
You kind of have your pick of the lot.
Who here could take me to the nearest commune of Druids?
You see is the druids are mentioned. They all turn to each other and have a very quick, hushed conversation, which you pick up on most of. They're asking each other who knows the way, and then amongst those who actually know where it is, they discuss who gets to approach you first.
Mm-hmm.
They resort to rock, paper, scissors.
Boulder, parchment, shear.
A female orc approaches you. She is the only orc you've seen since arriving here. She's got a massive scar on her face, and it looks like it continues down to her neck. But she approaches, and she's got a small feline companion with her. So, what business have you got with the commune?
Actually need to talk about maybe hiring a druid for a mission that we have. But we aren't from around here and really don't want to get lost in the swamps trying to find them. Hence why I'd like to hire you. That would...
Oh yeah, certainly easy to get lost or to become prey.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was definitely an option. What are your rates for Hey.
Well, we'll have to get supplies unless you can provide. And, it's usually 2 gold per week.
2 gold
S-
per week.
So long as everything goes fine, we'll make it to the commune within the first week, and we'll make it back within the second.
Okay.
You pay round trip.
2 gold per week, so it's at least 4 gold. Okay. Not including rations. We actually might want to stock up on rations now that I think about it. We do also have good berries on hand, and the supplying is not a problem at all.
Great, I'll leave supplies to you.
Sure, that works. Our goal would be to leave tomorrow. Is that an okay option?
Yeah.
We will set out in the afternoon. It's slightly safer at night.
Okay. Fair enough. It's been a day, but okay. Set out in the afternoon. That works. And where would we meet you? We're obviously at the tent across the way.
She points like 5 feet outside the tent.
That works. All right. It's a deal. She puts out her hand.
She gives you a firm handshake. Name's Erga.
I'm Amartia, and this is Ratchacha. She gestures to her squirrel.
Z friendly.
Yes, he is actually. Especially if you have snacks.
She reaches out and scratches at the scruff under his chin. It's big for a squirrel.
Yeah, funny magic being like that.
Oh, I know. And she gives a whistle, and you watch as the cat sprouts 2 small wings and flies its way up onto her shoulder. It is a tresem.
Oh, that's cool. I don't think Amarty has ever seen a tresem. Now that I think about it.
Probably not.
I've never seen that before. What sort of magic makes your cat have wings? Or is
Oh, no, it's a natural.
it that way?
Yes, they were born like this. Useful traveling companions, as they can sniff out poisonous things and invisible things, which is more useful than I would like in this swamp.
I did hear there was a big black cat that teleported around?
Displacer beasts. They won't be too much of an issue. They do their hunting in the early morning and in the late afternoon, which is why we will travel mostly during night.
I forgot to mention, I do have a few other companions with me.
That's fine,
Alright.
so long as nobody falls behind.
Nope. Well, ideally we wouldn't. We've been traveling well enough so far that I doubt any of us is gonna fall behind.
Great.
Alright. We will see you tomorrow then.
She just kind of gives a nod, gives Ratchacha a pat on the head, and heads over. You immediately hear some clinking and some knocking of things as she enters into what is presumably her living space. She's starting to get some of her supplies in order.
Yep. Amartia will just look to the rest of them, nod, and be like, thank you, and heads out back to the party. She comes back and is like, well, I just hired ourselves a guide, as she plops onto the cot. That was not that hard.
Oh, so you have to hire a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been helpful to know.
I mean, the guard wasn't too mad about it when I asked.
Well, that's good.
Just, probably didn't like that his job was being interrupted, but,
Or he was possibly butthurt about losing out on the job that he probably could have taken.
That too.
That too.
But no, he has to guard the tent. He has to make sure nobody steals things.
To make sure no fights break out.
All I can hear is like, I want to go on an adventure.
I want to get out of this tent. It's not fair that the others leave.
So she'll also add, so we're leaving, we'll meet with them right out there in the afternoon. Just because apparently it's safer to go to be doing most of our traveling at night. And how are we all on supplies? I didn't have the bag on me, so I couldn't really check.
We can always go out in the morning and get some stuff.
Fair enough, as long as we can find it. Still not quite.
Lufir chimes in. Oh, there's no rations in the bags. We're out of that kind of supplies. Do we have a time frame for how long it will take us to get to the commune?
She said we should be able to get there within a week. And she said get there within the first week.
Isn't that a little slow for our needs?
Do you have a better plan? Because we gotta... Either way, we can't quite just wander off on our own.
Perhaps we could pay her for expedition.
Okay, maybe.
I mean, we can always ask her tomorrow.
The only reason I bring it up is we only have a few weeks before the war becomes a problem anyway.
That and the birth of her sibling.
Her little baby sibling. I mean, they're just...
We'll talk to her tomorrow. First, let's worry about rations and any other supplies.
Do you think they have mounts here?
Nuts?
Mounts.
Maybe.
The accent makes it impossible to understand. I mean, that...
Malacas.
I mean, it's possible, but what mounts?
I don't know. A big cat?
I mean, they already have big cats that warp all over the place.
Warper Beast. That's what it was.
Displacer
No,
beast.
Shit.
Valeria's got a pretty high intelligence. I don't feel like she would have forgotten that.
It's been a day.
Displacer beast, yes.
You know what I meant.
Sure. I don't... If big cats can make their way through here, then I don't see why not. But then again, Displacer beasts, I guess, teleport all over the place, so maybe that's not a factor in at all.
I feel like that would make us sort of a bigger prey.
I don't know. I'm just trying to cut down on travel time since we don't have your mother here with us.
No, I understand.
No, fair, just... I don't really want to get into why we need a druid here, just... You're like, I can... And I feel like expediting it would have raised more questions. I also admittedly didn't think about that. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Quite alright. We'll figure something out. We always do.
By the skin of our teeth.
Hey, it's still...
Just so long as we don't have to figure out how to fight a war.
I mean...
Yes, please. I wish I could just travel through the ponds, but that's not an option right now.
Well, I mean, maybe the commune has a pond. At least then you can get back.
I can get back, but then what about the lot of you? You lot expect me to just... Oh, not only that, I can't take a druid with me, and I would need the druid there to do the whole speaky thing.
It's not easy to speak. Not speak easy.
Speaking is not easy.
Eh, it's speaking with ones without vocal cords. That's more of an issue.
Sounds
no,
like
since
the guard
we-
that you talked to earlier.
Huh?
Sounds like the guard you talked to earlier.
That was fine. It could have been worse.
Could have been.
So now with my ponds locked down for, safety's sake, I can't really travel through them as well. I can do it by myself, but I also need to have a piece of them. Which ones do I have? I'm gonna recall. I've got Woods, Elaine's, Terrell. Yeah, I have the pond in Bane, but that's still a ways from Grimal.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think traveling through the pond is going to work. Unfortunately.
Probably not.
We get rid of the hound, it'll be another.
I'm also a psychology major, so
Then I don't have to lock down my plane as much.
If at all.
Anymore. Huh?
If at all.
If at all.
Alright, well, for now, you guys set off to bed and awaken refreshed in the morning.
Woo woo.
You have some supplies to acquire if you wish, as well as mounts, possibly.
Yeah, we should look into what. I might even ask the guide if mounts would help expedite the, pop over pop over before we go out to go get supplies. Ask and go ask the guide, hey, would mounts help expedite the trip?
Oh, yeah, that'd speed it up a bit, depending on which mounts you acquire.
Again, kind of new here. I don't know what mounts are can make it through the swamps easily enough.
Well, if you're willing to spend some big money, there are the giant pythons. They can make it through the swamps at pretty good speeds. Or
Pythons?
oh yeah, real big snakes.
Oh, Ken.
Riding them is no small feat. But they get around real quick.
I mean, they have to be large for them to be possible.
I mean, it may be no small feat, but they're getting across with no feet, so that's a win.
Good one.
I try.
There is also, if you're wanting to take a smaller party, we could possibly rent a giant eagle. That'd cut down the travel time to about a day.
There's about, does the map, 4 of us, including plus my squirrel.
Oh no, it would basically just be you and me if we did that.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Okay. How spendy are we talking for giant python? So I have an idea.
Well, for that size party, we'd probably be needing 2 of them, and it's about $3,000.
Thinks about it.
It's 3,000 gold to rent them for the trip.
Nope. What other options have we got?
Well, there are some large cats that have been bred for getting through the swamp pretty quick. A little bit faster than us, though not by much. Called moorbounders.
what's a moorbounder?
It's basically just a real big cat. It's basically just a real big cat.
Oh.
They're specifically bred for riding purposes.
And
they-
how much faster are they, though?
Since they don't gotta travel by dirt and mud and muck, they bound through the trees, hence their name. Bound through the moors.
Oh.
They can shorten the trip to about 3 days.
Okay. And how expensive are they for a party our size, do you think?
We'd need 3 because they're a little smaller. They can only carry 2 apiece. If you're willing to get the ones that are fully trained, they're about 300 gold apiece. If you're willing to do some of the training yourself, you can get it on slightly cheaper.
Our party fund is not that much.
If speed's your key, we can up the travel speed. We can get there in about 5 days rather than a week, but I'll have to double my fee. Don't imagine that's much of an issue.
No, that's not really much of an issue. Just speed is kind of the essence, and I apologize for not mentioning that last night. Again, it's been a day.
Technically, it's been 2 now.
Now it has.
Just as an FYI, if all of you are present, I believe between not just the party funds, but everybody's personal funds, you can afford 3 fully trained moorbounders.
I have 25 gold.
Valeria's sitting on 500, so...
Yeah, I'm sitting on 512.
Oh! Okay. I didn't know how much Valeria had, and I didn't... stuff, so okay. Yeah, we have like 8... Oh yeah, we have 800. Why was I reading that as something else entirely?
You also have platinum. Not a lot of it, but some.
9 platinum. I wasn't thinking that, because 300 is still like 30 platinum. Okay,
Only
so
have
yeah.
gold and copper.
Yeah, but 830 gold plus 9 platinum is more than 900 gold. Just barely. You'd have 23 gold left over.
Yeah, that works. That's enough to get some more bounders. Yeah, I'm down for that. You guys down for that?
I'm down.
Lufier's kind of got like a slightly disgusted look on him. Big cats.
Oh,
Yes.
what's matter?
He's having a horrifying reminder of the elf killer panther.
Do you miss your friend atop the mountain?
Screw you. Well, we do have the party funds. I think it's enough to cover, unless somebody wants to contribute and get a moorbounder personally.
I can't.
We have the equivalent of 926 gold. He says this in Eriga's proximity, and she looks a little dumbfounded for a second.
I have 512 on me.
Hot damn.
Your own moorbounder? Do you want your own moorbounder?
I mean, I can contribute.
Alright. I don't have much, but I don't hold on to gold like you guys do. I have to spend way too much on arrows.
Well, shoot. If we're riding moorbounders, we don't gotta wait till tonight.
We have a lot of calls.
Okay then.
Moorbounders are more active during the day, so riding at night, it is doable, but they're not the brightest, and they don't see well in the dark, so...
Ah, fair enough. Alright, onward for moorbounders?
Yeah, I'll lead you to the stables, and somebody should probably get that equipment. The bit and bridles will be a little bit more beyond the 300, and then we'll still be needing supplies, especially to feed the moorbounders.
That's sweet. Valeria, do you think you could handle that?
I can handle it.
Since you're the big purse.
I'm one of the big purses.
Well, great. Martia and I will head for the stables with our guide here, and Valeria and Abyss can go look for supplies. We'll probably... Big cats probably want lots of meats.
Makes
So,
sense.
he hands Valeria the bag of colding. You can keep the supplies in there for the foodstuffs.
Will do.
And I suppose we'll meet up at one of the entrances to the village. And Agra's like, we'll be heading out from the northern entrance, which is not far from here. And she heads outside of the tent, and she just kind of motions. You can see the makeshift towers that mark where the entrance is. She goes inside, quickly rustles up the stuff that she had started packing last night. You see she's got a massive greatsword, as well as a big old journey pack with a roll and a blanket. She's got a lantern. She's got all sorts of bits and bobs, as well as several maps.
She is prepared.
Well, this is her job, so...
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Alright.
Okay, so Erga leads Amartia and Bluefear to the stables. Valeria, do you want to give them some of your coin, since they also have to pay for the bit and bridle?
Yeah. How much? Half?
You give however much you want to the party funds. I will let you know, bit and bridle is about 25 gold per creature, and there's 3, so... 75 gold.
I'll give 100.
Okay, so all told, that's 975 out of 1,023. That's some real weird math. 1,023 minus... So that's 100... No, it's 48 gold left in the party funds. I will edit that. You guys no longer have any platinum pieces.
Ooh.
That's what you said.
No more platinum.
You got 3 more bounders. Erga rides 1, Amartia rides 1, and Lufia rides 1 until you guys meet up and decide who gets to commandeer one.
Okay.
It is an animal handling check to steer them and such.
Mm-hmm.
The saddles are a little awkward. They fit on there kind of funny. The saddles aren't as rigid as a horse or a donkey's saddle because the moorbounders are much more agile and much more prone to bending. But you kind of have a seatbelt and a really, really well, like super sturdy handhold that's right in your crotch area.
Fair enough. Horse belt.
Alright, so 3 more bounders, and Valeria and Abyss, you can either roll separately or one of you with advantage an investigation check to find a place to acquire supplies, specifically meats. Well, hot damn. Can you beat that, Valeria? Hell yeah.
I'm equal.
So, Valeria, you're pretty good at spotting these things, and Abyss keeps right on up. Between the two of you, you're scouring the streets until you both come across at basically the same time. There's a large smoking tent.
Over
Where-
there.
Sharing a singular brain cell.
Yeah,
We are the hive mind.
sharing a single brain cell, but man, is that brain cell putting in work.
Putting in overtime.
Yeah, you guys find a smokehouse where you can procure a very sizable amount of meat, as well as they do have some rations, some traveling rations.
Okay. So,
For enough meat for the moorbounders, or we'll say 2 weeks worth of food, and we'll put that at about, we'll say 5 gold per week per moorbounder, so that's 30 gold total for 2 weeks.
okay, what about 2 weeks of rations?
Oh, rations are still the normal price, so a gold for 2. There's how many of you? 4 plus
5.
Rachacha plus Erga. So that's 6.
Okay,
So it's 3 gold per day.
Uh-huh.
And then if you also want 2 weeks worth of rations, that'd put you at
14.
52?
So
52 gold? 52 gold for 104 rations.
89 altogether?
Yes. No,
No?
30 plus 52 is 82.
Oh, I thought you said 37 for some reason.
So you have 28 meat rations for moorbounders. And you have 104 standard rations. I've added them to the bag of golding. I'm assuming you have removed your gold.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay. You guys procure a sizable amount of meat and rations. They honestly, you kind of buy them out of a lot of their stores. That is a lot of rations to buy all at once.
Hey, at least we get the money for it.
Yeah, no, and they're more than willing to get it all together for you. Takes them about an hour to do so, though, because that's a lot of rations, more than they had prepared. So they hurriedly get that all together for you, and you pack it all into the bag of holding, which, by the way, pretty sure that puts it right around full between the sheer amount of meat and the sheer amount of rations.
Is the head gonna contaminate the meat?
You don't know. You did clean the head. Lufir did clean the head before it went in. Well, he at least wiped it with a rag.
Oh no.
Anyway, after an hour, you make your way to the northern gate where Amartia, Lufir, and Erga are all waiting. They're each just kind of standing and waiting next to a moorbounder. Who would like to take up riding and steering?
I can. I have a pretty high animal handling, so I can take one of them.
Erga will as well, because she's got a decent wisdom score.
Alright, Abyss.
Between Abyss, Lufir, and Valeria, Lufir has a +2 in animal handling.
I have a 1.
I have 3.
It's Valeria.
Valeria, you have volunteered yourself.
You've been voluntold.
You have been
Been volun-
voluntold by
I
your
have been
staff.
voluntold. Oh well. I'll try my best.
You will try.
I'll try.
Please don't fail.
I can't promise anything.
You must. You must promise not to fail.
So we got
I can't promise the fate of the dice.
Erga on one more bounder. Martia on another.
And I
And
have already
Valeria.
decided what to name my moorbounder.
No.
Great. First, let's figure out who's riding with whom.
That's fair.
Ratich is probably riding with you. Because,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Are you? You're oldest.
Abyss, do you want to ride with the random half-orc guide, or you want to ride with Valeria?
Ride with Valeria.
And Lufir will ride with the half-orc.
Yay, she trusts me.
I'm literally
Better, because we work for the same people.
And what do you want to name your moorbounder?
Shivari.
Go ahead and give me an animal handling to try and get it to recognize that as its name.
Shablam!
Ooh.
Okay. It seems receptive, especially if you give it a treat while you do so.
She will.
These moorbounders are not necessarily feline in behavior. They're much more akin to basically a bear. So they're kind of indifferent to most things. They didn't have names per se. They were more assigned like a tag for names purposes. Erga's tag for her bounder is simply Moor. And Valeria, yours, unless you want to give it a name, yours tag is Kel. They're kept to Kel.
Kel.
Those are the tags of the other two. However, more bounders is actually spelled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everything is fairly in order. Let's go ahead and have everybody make their first animal handling check to get underway with travel.
And... Bam. Oh, I rolled poorly.
So did Erga. And I don't know, Abyss, you didn't need to roll. Valeria does.
Oh.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
also rolled.
So you guys managed to get underway. However, it is not at all at the speed you want. They're taking their time. Erga's just kind of like, we could be making better ground on foot.
Buddy, come on.
It is fine. It's still faster than going on our own feet, so long as this isn't our normal pace.
Fair enough. Just,
Okay, so this is going to be about 6 chunks worth of travel. Your first chunk is slowed, so you do lose some time here.
all right.
How many days were we supposed to make it there? 3 or 5?
3. It was 5 if it was expedited on foot. The moorbounders can bring it down to 3 if they move at a normal pace.
Gotcha.
If they move at a normal pace.
Yeah, if they move at a normal pace. So for each section, I am going to need a survival check from someone at advantage. Erga can make the roll. I think I'm going to actually have everybody take a turn just to keep it fair.
Yeah, that's fine.
So first we will have Erga do hers. So a survival check from Erga. She has +7 to survival, and she has advantage. With a 21, yeah, she manages to keep you guys on track pretty well. And she catches a lot of the signs of anything dangerous fairly early on, especially since she's leading the way.
Nice.
So the first day of travel goes, well, the first chunk of travel, which is half of a day, goes slower than you would like, but with no major mishaps of any kind. Abyss, if you would please roll survival with advantage for the second portion of the day, and everybody can make a new animal handling check as well. 10, okay. Wow.
Ha
That is an average of not good. Like an average of 14 or 13.
Are we at least moving faster?
Faster, yeah, but not their max speed. That does slow you guys down by a day, unfortunately.
Fine.
Now, because a 10,
I don't go over 5 days.
you don't go off course with a 10. You manage to keep your course just fine. However, you do encounter a snag to your travel.
Oh no. What snag?
Okay. So as you guys are traveling, and as Abyss is doing the map reading, since Erga has to, drive her moorbounder, she does accidentally lead you guys into a dangerous portion of the swamp. However, Erga manages to spy it fairly quickly. We're a little off my preferred path here, but just follow me directly and don't look into the water.
Okay.
You do not recognize the bodies in the water.
Everybody make a wisdom save.
Wunderbar. Charm or no?
This would be considered a charm effect, yes.
Alright.
Which I think means Lufir has advantage as well.
Yeah, Lufir would have advantage being an elf.
Still fails. So she says not to look down at the water, but some of you are just curious. And you look down into, as you're making your way through, there's these deep pockets of water as she's leading you through some pretty water-filled areas. She's leading you along some roots that are held pretty well. Valeria and Lufir both, they can't handle it. Their curiosity gets the better of them and they both look down. I know you made the joke, Shreds, but yes, you do not recognize the bodies in the water.
Oh no!
I need another wisdom save from you and Lufir.
Please don't biff. Please don't biff.
Oh, you biffed!
Hey, listen, I cannot promise the fate of the dice.
You on your moorbounder start to slow down as you're looking down into the water. You don't recognize the bodies in the water. Why are there bodies in the water? Abyss, Valeria has brought your moorbounder to a slower pace, and you're probably concerned as to why. You see she's staring down into the water.
Hey! Valeria!
Do you see them?
No.
There's
Do you look?
bodies in the water.
Yeah, look.
Great. Okay, so I need a wisdom save from Abyss, and I need another wisdom save from Lufir and Valeria.
Tell they're doing this.
Probably. They're leading up the rear. Lufir, as he's caught staring into the water, Erga smacks him hard as she can. And he finally snaps to, what? Oh, sorry. I couldn't help it. I had to look. Abyss, you look down. You don't see anything in the water.
Marte looks
Valeria,
back.
there's nothing.
Yes, there is.
Valeria,
I don't see it.
You okay?
you recognize the bodies in the water.
Oh no.
Abyss, Valeria brings the Moorbounder to a dead halt and starts to fall off.
Valeria, I try to catch her.
Okay, go ahead and give me a strength check. Valeria doesn't weigh that much, but unfortunately you can't manage to keep a hold of her and the Moorbounder. You're either going in with her or you have to let go.
Going in.
Alright, the two of you fall off your Moorbounder, who very quickly looks down to see what the hell's going on. Erga hears the splash and turns around.
I want to. Okay, it's just an action. I want to cast flood. Where is the one that dissipates water?
Create and destroy water.
No, I don't think that's big enough of a spell because create and destroy water. Well, destroy water.
It's like a 5-foot cube worth of water. Yeah.
10 gallons of water in an open container within range. Will this count?
Probably not. The way create and destroy water works is finicky.
I want to cast control water, and I want to use the part water section. You cause water in the area to move trench.
Okay. So you start to try and pull open the water where they are.
Mm-hmm.
You manage to do so. Abyss, you're still holding on to Valeria as she's in the water. Valeria, you recognize the bodies in the water. And as you are sinking down, the water starts to pull away from your sides until there's all of 2 feet left of this pretty deep water.
How deep is it?
This is a pretty deep chunk of the swamp. You managed to pull back more than half of it.
Grab her up.
Is it deeper than 100 feet?
You don't control that much water.
It says any freestanding water inside an area that is a cube
on a side.
On a side.
And then parting the water. Where's the any huge smells? Nope. Part water. You cause water in the area to move apart and create a trench. Extends across this vale's area, and the separated water forms a wall to either side. Okay, no, you clear out. You can no longer see what you have cleared out because the wall of water is blocking your vision. But you feel confident you got them out of the water. So you both go sploosh right into the silt bed of the bottom.
Valeria, there's nothing. Come on.
They were just here.
As you
Oh, they're not.
start to gain control of yourself to try and stand up in this muck. Valeria, you look to your left, and there they are.
Son of a bitch!
Can I shield her eyes?
You can try.
Yeah, I'm gonna shield her eyes.
Valeria, make a wisdom saving throw. Okay. Abyss covers up your eyes and starts to try and pull you back to reality. You're still convinced that they're there, but you can't see them anymore. The pull isn't as strong. The two of you manage to stand up as best you can in the muck. It goes up to your mid-thigh.
She'll call down as she's controlling the spell. Are you guys okay? I don't know where we are in conjunction with them.
Valeria thinks she's seeing something.
Agra, calls out from outside of the massive water walls. There's nothing in the water. There's nothing in the water.
Right.
She keeps saying it over and over and over. Valeria, make another wisdom save. At advantage, because you cannot see them and you're being chanted at. That is unfortunately a failure.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Following suit, Omardial. There's nothing in the water. Get up.
But they're there.
They're
They're
not
not
there.
there.
None of us see it. Probably an illusion.
Your mind just, it's having trouble coming to terms with what your companions are saying. You saw them. You saw the bodies in the water. And what's more, you recognize the bodies in the water. Who were they? You know you recognize them, but
She'll add, remember that stupid dragon the jester pulled up? Same difference. We thought it was real, we swore it was real, it wasn't real. This is
But
the same thing.
They are real.
No, it's not. It's just like the one thing from before. It looks like it, but it's not. There is nothing in the water.
Valeria, make a wisdom saving throw.
Normal.
At advantage. Abyss is doing her damn best to keep your eyes shielded. At this point, you start to try and pull your way away from Abyss. I need strength checks from both of you.
It's regular or save?
Strength, this would technically be athletics, so it's a check.
Oh shit.
Okay, Valeria pulls out from your grasp, Abyss.
That was at advantage. I meant to do it.
The first one's still a 20.
Okay.
So yeah, Valeria manages to brute force her way out of your grip. You look into the walls of water at either side of you again. There they are. It's the bodies in the water still.
How can you not see them?
Okay, where am I in conjunction with them now that I've made this trench? Is there like just a wall in between us?
Can I slap her in the face?
Yeah, you can totally slap her.
I was gonna sick Rachacha on her.
You're... No matter where you are, the wall of water is kind of in the way.
Uh-huh.
Just because the way the trench is formed. Otherwise, you'd get rid of a lot of the water under you as well. And then Ergo wouldn't be able to see either. You can make out their forms beyond the wall.
Okay. Can I launch Rachacha at where I think Valeria is?
Oh, totally.
Then yes, I'm gonna do that.
You snap your fingers and snap again. And Rachacha is just thump right on top of you. Abyss slaps you across the face as Rachacha plummets onto you in his massive fuzzy form. Make a wisdom saving throw at advantage again.
You are being sat on by a giant squirrel.
This isn't going well.
It's not. You're squished underneath Rachacha, and Abyss is now physically abusing you, and you're just trying to claw your way over to the water.
God fucking damn it, I'm gonna do this
Get
because
off of
we
me.
can't do this anymore. I wish you would just fucking snap out of it.
Cool. This would be the effects of a greater restoration. That's on your spell list, but it's of a spell higher than you know. Go ahead and roll your D100. This is 35% chance. So 35 or lower.
No.
You have the worst of luck with your wish.
I hate this wish. I never get anything.
Like I said, the chances of it working will go up as you guys level up, but because we haven't played very often, we haven't really leveled up again.
There.
I hate it.
Between Abyss and Rachacha, Valeria is quite restrained. She can't get into the water.
Yeah, but we need to get her onto the moorbounder and out.
Yeah, Agra's made her way over, swam her way through the water wall with a rope, and she's helping to, using some of the branches above, pulley Valeria and Abyss out of the muck. Anyway, here's water wall.
I just got it.
That's great.
So Valeria has to be restrained, and Abyss, I need you to make an animal handling to try and drive your moorbounder with Valeria tied up behind you. Yeah, that's about right. So you guys try to make your way out from this area, but Abyss loses control of the moorbound completely and splashes into the water. Moorbounder comes crawling its way out. Abyss comes crawling out, and Valeria's just sitting there in the water. Valeria, you're in the water now.
Don't fuck, I'm in the water.
Yeah, you recognize the bodies in the water. They grab you.
Dive in the water to go grab Valeria.
Okay, you grab Valeria. She should be floating. She's got enough fat on her to, be buoyant.
Mm-hmm.
She's sinking. Fast.
Try and pull her up.
Yeah, go ahead and make a athletics check at advantage, because you have a swim speed, and she does not.
Athletic check?
Mm-hmm. I know, not the best thing, but that's what swimming's stat.
Oh,
Okay. You start trying to pull against it, and at this point Igra has also dived in. Valeria, you recognize the bodies in the water. You take 12 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
They are dragging you down. You recognize the bodies in the water. They're all you. Each one of them, each face is twisted and morphed. Some are bloated, some are rotten. They're all pulling you down.
I don't like this.
not disturbing.
You recognize the bodies in the water. Who are the body in the water? Another 13 points of psychic damage, Valeria, as Erga and Amartia are struggling to try and drag you out of the water.
Valeria, just choose not to recognize the bodies in the water.
You succeeded on the save, the original save. So you don't recognize them, Erga doesn't recognize them, Ranchicha doesn't.
I know.
Lufir took a while before he could look at the water safely again.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, because Valeria failed the original save and couldn't recover, she can't get out of it without being shaken and forced out of it. Go ahead and make another athletics check at advantage, and I will roll separately for Erga, who has...
What the fuck is pulling me down?
There we go.
Yeah, much better. 13 and a 17. You start managing to pull Valeria back up out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
You can start to... You make out what's pulling her down now. There's these strange shadow tendrils that are latched onto the ropes.
Just because I can't quite... I don't think since I'm pulling the athletic check, I don't think I'd be able to, slash at them with my sword. I'm a little busy with that. So she just looks to the direction of the tendrils, bares her teeth and snarls, trying to look scary and intimidating while...
Well, unfortunately, the creature you're attempting to intimidate can't see you.
It was a... I tried. I figured.
Between you and Agra, you managed to pull Valeria to the surface again. Valeria, 26 points of psychic damage. Oh, sorry. Nope. That 11. That was the d20 plus 8 for Agra's strength.
God, I got worried for a second. It's like 26. How?
Yeah. I was about to say that dropped.
Yeah, that's why it triggered for me too. I was like, wait, that's an 18. Nope. I clicked the wrong thing here.
Any woozles.
You hear your own voice in your mind, Valeria, saying, "You are mine. Sink and become one of the bodies in the water." And as you pull Valeria out, she's saying it to herself.
There are no bodies in the water.
See the tendrils. As you pull her out of the water, the tendrils start to release.
Looks to the water as she's trying to get on her moorband. That's right. Better fucking run. Try to take my friend.
Agra blindfolds you, Valeria, and just starts beating you.
Oh my God.
She beats you until you're unconscious.
So 1 hit point?
0. Completely unconscious.
You are knocked out.
Odds are pretty good. Nobody tries to stop her except Lufier, who she explains what she's doing, and he's like, okay.
I assume
Valeria's too far gone, and she can't seem to shake the control of the creature, which she explains is a plant. It's a very specific and annoying sort of vine that it projects these images of bodies in the water until you fall in, and then it grabs you, drags you down, and drowns you.
But you have to believe that there are.
You have to see and believe that there are bodies in the water for this plant to get a hold of you.
Huh.
But because most of you succeeded on the original save for the illusory effect, the charm, you didn't see the bodies in the first place.
You're like, I've paid.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a charm effect because it pulls you into the water.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well.
That's not the vine they eat in the stew, is it?
No,
Oh.
it didn't look anything like it.
They aren't.
But yeah, Valeria is knocked fully unconscious, and unfortunately, you've lost a full day's worth of travel. So 6 turned into 8 between the slow speeds that you guys were traveling and this very big loss of time. Yeah, you guys find a relatively clear area to set up.
Doing great, guys.
Sorry, everybody.
Yes, definitely your fault, not the dice.
So totally not the dice's fault.
I hope you guys enjoyed an interesting encounter, even if it was frustrating.
It's just frustrating.
You recognize the bodies in the water.
I swear that was a moment of like, all right, take a shot every time Nate says you recognize the bodies in the water.
So, Valeria, you awaken beaten, bloody, bruised, and very wet around a small fire that has been made for the night. Agra has set up a sleeping hammock for herself. And she advises that you guys don't sleep on the ground if you can, as there are crawlies and slitheries.
Martail set something up in a tree.
The boughs of the trees here make it fairly easy to find nooks to sleep in, as they are the kind of swamp tree that opens up in like a bowl almost with their branches. Valeria, you are untied, and Agra explains the situation that occurred. She lets you know that it wasn't real, You should be okay. There's more than enough space between you and the plant that had you ensnared. She lets you know the only real defense for this specifically is to just not look at the water.
Fair enough.
Curiosity more than killed the cat.
This
Unfortunately, satisfaction will not bring it back.
Wait, does she not have a moorbounder anymore?
No, you guys. The detriment was falling off the moorbounder
Okay.
because of the net one.
I thought your emphasis on, curiosity killed the cat, satisfaction did not brought it back. I was like, wait, please tell me the moorbounder.
No, the moorbounder fell into the water but came back out. The moorbounders and most of the creatures that are indigenous to this area are actually immune to the plant,
Of course.
just due to sheer proximity.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean they don't occasionally fall for it, but for the most part, they're not dumb enough to look into the water.
Mm-hmm.
When they drink, they close their eyes.
Fair enough.
It's also a lot harder to recognize the bodies in the water when you can't even recognize what a reflection is.
Yep, that'll do it.
There's another cat in the water. Splash. There's another cat in the water. Splash. You guys set yourselves up for a night's rest. I need watches. There are 3 watches because you have an elf. Lufir takes 1. And then I need 2 more.
I'll take 1.
And if the other 2 don't want to, Igor can take the last. Who's taking the last?
I can.
Do you want to is the question. Because Igor can take the last watch if you don't want to. Okay. So perception checks from everybody. This is hearing.
Yay.
So Lufir has advantage.
Should
I
have
believe so,
advantage on
yes.
hearing and smelling.
Heightened senses. Yep, hearing and smell.
What the fuck?
Damn.
Abyss stole your watch, Valeria. Because she rolled perception first. Nice. Okay. Abyss, during your watch, you don't really notice too much. You do your best to keep yourself awake, and you keep the fire going as best you can. You guys are actually sleeping a little ways away from the fire, as Agra informs you that it is a good diversion tactic, or in case any late night prowlers make their way. Although after the sun has finished setting, she informs you that the chances of finding a displacer beast are lower, not 0, but lower, as they do most of their night. They are twilight hunters. They hunt during sunup and sundown.
Your chances of being killed by a duck are low, but never 0.
You finish out your watch, and Lufir awakens for his... He tends to the fire. During his watch, he does hear something, but he picks up a nearby stick and just yeets it way off into the distance. And whatever it was just goes rushing.
He plays fetch with the shadows.
Well, thankfully they don't bring it back. He finishes out his watch and goes back to his rest. And Amartia finishes out with the sunrise. Your watch is the most apprehensive, as it is sunrise, which means there is a chance of displacers. You do hear some rustling as well. What do?
I do hear rustling.
Mm-hmm. You can't pinpoint what it is or the direction, but you hear it.
I can't pinpoint the direction.
Mm-mm.
Damn it, I was gonna do something. But if I can't pinpoint the direction, I can't shoot.
Oh, man.
Nope. I'm just gonna take a rock and yeet it
Cool.
in the direction I think it might be coming from. Like, I'll take a
Well,
educated
you'd probably want to throw it in a direction it isn't in.
Oh.
So in order to send it away.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a survival check to try and take the best guess at direction.
Sure. 24.
And
20.
then-
Sorry, I forgot to take off the hearing bonus.
And then what is your strength score?
My strength score is 10.
Okay. You managed to yeet it a pretty decent distance. It's not great, but far enough away that you hear the rustling rush off in that direction.
And then she'll spend the rest of the night with like her hand on her bow, waiting to see if something jumps out at them.
Mm-hmm.
You're twitching for any noise.
Yeah, the rustling does return as it gets towards everybody else starts waking up, particularly Abyss and Erga, as they didn't have to take watch.
Mm-hmm. As they're still...
Or sorry, Valeria and Erga. Abyss took watch.
They're still rustling when Valeria and Erga wake up.
Yeah, they're like just starting to wake up.
There's more rustling. There's some rustling nearby, guys. She kind of
Erga.
tries to keep it low, but enough for them to hear.
The rustling stops once you start speaking, and Erga just makes a motion for shush, digs into one of the small patches on the side of her pack, and pulls out a very strange, what appears to be a stone rod. She blows into it like a whistle, and it makes a noise, and then she just yeets it, similar to what Lufir did earlier, except this one makes a whistling noise as it goes. And the rustling rushes off after it.
What the hell is that?
It's a whistle stone. She pulls out a couple more from inside of her pack. It's just carved stone with it. So long as it has enough wind, it will make a whistle sound.
So it's sort of hollow?
Yeah, yes. And she shows it to you. It's not only hollow, but it's got large holes on the sides.
That would have been useful last night.
I only have a few, so I cannot spare.
Fair enough. Fine. Ready for a new day?
She eats some of her rations. You guys eat some of your rations. Which is... That's 3 more Banda rations eaten, and 6 regular rations. And the bag of holding really taking its time loading. It was like, no, I don't want to do it.
I want to do it.
Oh wait, it's not 28 meat rations for the Moorbounders, it's 28 times 3. Because 2 weeks is 20... No, 2 weeks is 14 times 3. I messed up the math earlier. So it's 42 minus 3 is 39. There we go. I was like, the math had to have gone wrong somewhere here, because it can't possibly be 28. It's not divisible by 3. And that brings you guys down to 98 rations. The food being cold is slightly off-putting, but at least it's fresher than it would have been otherwise.
Pretty much. It's fine.
Okay. Amartea, survival check at advantage.
Yep. I can do that.
Oh, will I be able
Wham!
to?
Yeah, you managed to keep up a much better speed than you guys have been maintaining thus far.
Too bad I couldn't, make up the speed.
Oh no, that's you did make up. You made up for one of the chunks from yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
So you're down from 8 attempts.
A combination of just bad.
You guys are down from 8 to 7.
They were there and they were all me.
No, one of them was Abyss because she got turned around.
No, he means all the bodies were him.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, Lufier's next.
Do it, Lufier.
You can do it.
We believe in you while you're not here. Yay! Nice.
Hey.
I don't know why Abyss rolled again. Yeah, no, today you guys managed to keep up on a much better pace. You made up for lost time yesterday. As long as you keep up a decent pace tomorrow, you guys should arrive, according to Agra, and you don't run into any major issues. She does stop during the half point of the day, and you see her making some strange things. She's intentionally leaving blood on certain points of the trees. Like she cuts herself and leaves some blood on trees that are leading in a direction away from where you're heading. And then closes the wound with by wrapping it. And then you see she's picking up some dead wood and she's snapping it into small throwable chunks. Pulls out some wood carving tools and she makes a very meager version of her whistle stones. She hands one to each of you.
Alright, cool.
If the things from last night were displacers, they will find us again tonight.
Alright then. Wonderful.
More perception checks
Alright.
from whoever's taken watch.
Hearing. Okay, hearing. So, yay. I'll take another watch.
I'll take a look.
No, you won't, Shreds. Abyss beat you to
Oh,
it.
God.
And Lufier has to, because if he doesn't, then it's 4 watches instead of 3. Elf.
Motherfucker, my watch perception is bad.
Okay. Abyss, you don't notice much during your watch. You're kind of playing with the whistle that you were given a little bit. You're doing your best not to make too much noise because you don't want to draw any attention. By the time your watch comes to an end, you have accidentally thrown it into the fire out of boredom.
Wait.
Amartea, during your watch, you don't hear much. There's definitely the sounds of creatures about, but no rustling like the previous night.
Okay.
And Lufier finishes off the watch, and as you guys wake up for the next morning, he lets you know that he didn't pick up any sounds of any large creatures stumbling about. And Agra says it's a good sign. That means that either you outpaced the displacers, what they could move, and they probably gave up due to your high speed the previous day, or more likely, the creature that you guys ran into was something smaller. Possibly a large rat. Yeah.
Dire rat.
Giant rat, not a dire rat.
Oh,
Big rat.
I thought they called them dire rats.
Oh, they did.
Dire.
So there's regular rats, giant rats, dire rats, which are bigger than giant rats, and then there's dire giant rats.
How many fucking rats are there in this place?
There's a lot of rats.
They are rodents of
dirty
unusual
rats.
size.
It's a veritable fuck ton of ROUSs. Anyways, moving right along.
Okay, the only person who hasn't rolled their survival is Valeria.
Yep.
You can do it. We believe in you.
God, I hope so.
Hey!
Yeah. That is not enough for fast speed, but you maintain a normal speed. And no no strange events.
You did it.
Okay, and I will roll the final one. 7 twice, also a 19.
I just heard
So-
my child say dodo.
Thanks to making up a lot of time on your second day's worth of travel, you guys, as the sun is setting, Erga tells you to keep pushing into the darkness as you are close enough to make it to the camp.
Mm-hmm.
She just says keep as close to her as possible, and she lights her lantern. As she darts through the woods with lantern lit, you guys do come across a light source in the distance between the trees until she leads you through a break and you come out into a fairly open area with wooden fashioned bridges. It looks like, rather than making bridges out of the fallen and decayed stuff, they've used the branches and the roots and just kind of guided them over the years. But you guys do arrive to the northeastern section of the swamp, where the commune is. It is currently nighttime, and as you arrive, come fucking barreling in on your moorbounders. The druids are startled, those of them that are awake. An alarm is sounded, and the camp is awakened. And immediately as they start to gather around, Erga just dismounts the moorbounder and just informs you guys to just start acting normal. Get off your moorbounders, you don't need to be on them anymore. But also get into the middle of the camp, because there's definitely some stuff that's probably chased you. So as you guys make your way towards the middle of the camp, you suddenly watch as the tree line where you just entered starts to grow at a fast pace as the druids begin chanting and closing off all of the entrances. As they finish, you can see the outline. All of the trees have been bound together, and there's now no means of leaving save for the air.
Well, I guess I'm safe.
The druids are apprehensive at your arrival. They seem more annoyed than angry.
She just kind of like, where did you get 2 cats? Kind of like hesitantly waves like, hello. She's already off her moorbounder at this point.
Okay, where is... As you guys have dismounted your moorbounders, the apparent leader, the archdruid of this coven, approaches towards you.
Commune.
Yes, I said coven, didn't I?
You did.
Well, they're witches now. It is an elderly lizard folk. They're in their prime years. but they're adorned in heavy garments that denote their station, a large raiment that is wrapped around their shoulders, and a very strangely designed headdress you imagine wasn't made for them, but they inherited.
Does it seem like just as diverse as Ohm was? Like, looking around?
More so.
other people? More so, okay.
Yes, this is the only place where the Circle of Spores practices, so anybody who's of interest of that has to come here. Whereas you could become a Circle of the Land Druid just about anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Circle of the Moon. But yeah, there's lizard folk, goblins, humans, a few elves, not too many. There would also be just a small handful of halflings, and probably the most surprising to all of you is there is a singular kobold.
Huh. Alright then.
Anyway, the lizard folk, who appears to be the leader, addresses you all.
You arrive at a late hour, travelers.
Sorry, kinda got turned around once or twice.
He heads over to Agra and just instinctively puts a hand out, and you watch as the Tresem just immediately leaps up onto the outstretched hand and up to the neck, starts wrapping around as a cat does.
Cute. But they're cute.
You know better than arriving at an odd time, Agra. She doesn't say anything, she just kind of gives a small bow. Points to a nearby tent. Well, we can discuss what we will in the morning. Rest.
Marta just nods. Yes, that sounds like a wonderful idea. Where can we stay?
They're still pointing at that same tent.
Oh. Fair enough. She kind of scuttles off.
And make sure that you set your moorbounders. And points to there's a large tree in the center of this area.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. And she'll take her, she'll take Shivari to the, tree.
Mm-hmm. You hook up your moorbounder, as does Valeria and Erga, and make your way to the tent. Once you guys are inside, it's empty. There's a couple of spare bedrolls that are laid out. Let me see if I can find... No, I don't think I'm going to be able to find an image. Basically, the floor here is just a whole bunch of latticed tree roots. So it's not particularly flat. It's kind of lumpy. Erga sets up her hammock again. Well, we made it.
Semi-cozy spot.
We made it in good time. I am not happy about bursting in at the late hour, but it is what it is.
How often does that happen?
I usually account to arrive midday when I plan a normal trip, but because we were being expedited, it was just how it happened.
Sorry.
The floor is lumpy. You might want to find something to sleep on.
She has a bedroll, so she does use that to help cushion.
Lufir just takes a seated position.
I've got a bedroll, so.
Yep.
That works.
Snuggles up with Ratchacha.
You guys have a much safer and calmer night's rest. No need to take watches.
Yay!
You can mull about the strangeness that was getting here on your moorbounders. And you awaken the next day. The commune is bustling. You can see that the tied up branches that made up the perimeter have been undone. There is food prepared, a community meal. They've also you feed your moorbounders and you ate a ration. So down to 33 for the moorbounders, and then minus 12 is 6. You guys are treated to a vegetarian meal for the breakfast.
That works.
And the chief approaches as you finish eating. Well, you certainly make an entrance. Given that Agra is with you, I assume you have business with our commune. Traders you do not appear to be.
No, we're not. We actually were looking to hire one of you, if one of your own is powerful enough to talk to the dead.
Well, there are a few capable of such.
How private is it right now?
Not at all.
Out in the open? Yeah. If we could speak to one of them privately, we just, it's kind of urgent, and it would also have to be somebody who's willing to come with us to Gramal.
Make a persuasion check.
Is anybody gonna chime in to give me advantage?
I don't know what to say.
Damn it.
Sorry.
I have a... It's an 8.
Sure is.
My hearing bone. Okay.
If you've got business in Gramal, that's one thing, but there are no secrets amongst this commune. Whatever business you have with the dead, you may speak it aloud. We will not judge. And he makes a motion over towards... There's a large area of the communal space that is just covered in mushrooms and rot. The dead are no stranger to us.
I didn't think so. Just what we need to know from it is kind of unsettling. If what we suspect is true. Bad things are coming to Ogrelal, basically.
That's every day. Especially since the void elementals have become a problem.
You've noticed as well.
Oh yes, we've been contacted. Most of our fighters are already left. We have but a few spiritual leaders left. I think only 2 that can perform what you need, aside from myself. And I am in no position to travel currently.
Understandable. That's why I asked for somebody who could. Or we asked for somebody who could. Because one of the people responsible for the Void Elementals is not only in Grimal, he's in charge. This might help throw him off his seat.
You see that they kind of study your face very carefully as you're saying this. Make a persuasion check.
Not lying.
No, you're not lying at all.
I don't think Maria knows how to lie that well.
No. This isn't. They can already tell you're not lying. They're trying. This is just how earnest you come across.
Bitch!
Yes, well, you're more than welcome to talk to our spiritual leaders that remain. They're still in training, but they are capable of performing the ritual you need. And he makes a motion, and you see approaching is the kobold and one of the halflings. This is Urk, and he motions towards the kobold. He's still in training as a spore circle, but he's capable of casting what you need. And this is Leaflet, also capable, though they are a circle of the land.
Are either of you okay leaving to go to Grimal?
Oh, wait. Sorry. Is there a circle that gets Speak with Dead?
I thought it did. I thought
No, it's a bard cleric wizard spell.
I thought druids had the ability to do Speak with Dead. Did we just waste this whole thing?
Let me check Circle of Spores. Animate Dead. No, that's not what we want.
Oh my fucking god.
We should have double checked that beforehand.
Oh.
Everything retconned.
I mean, we could also just say that there are clerics amongst this commune that are capable. That would not be a stretch.
Please, because I swan to John.
uh,
I'd imagine the spore druid, because spores, fungal, death.
yeah, no, they get undeath spells, not
Yeah.
that kind of undeath though. Which is weird. They get access to making undead.
Close enough.
Yeah, okay.
I was so mad.
Yeah, I even-
Because we talked about it the last time. Oh yeah, druids have it, I guess. So I remember druids getting mentioned, but pleh. Okay. So
I mean, even then, it's not on their spell list. I can still make an exception as these are NPCs. They're not player characters.
It's
So I can.
whatever you're willing to do, Nate. Whatever you're willing to do. I'm so mad.
I'm not gonna retcon this entire session. Both of these, because of reasons unbeknownst to any of you, they know how to do this.
I mean, Amartia is not actually a druid, so she believes like, hey, it's good dead. That's about.
Your parents have never cast this spell, but you're definitely capable.
Uh-huh.
If a hag can do it, my parents can do it. That's the logic.
That'll be the logic.
Okay, we will. Yeah, we'll say that Urk is capable of performing a ritual that mimics the spell, and we will say that Leaflet is technically a cleric, a nature cleric.
That works. So, yeah, she just asked which of them is okay with going to Grimal.
Okay. You're asking this? Is anybody participating? Because Zamarty has now made 2 persuasion checks in a row, and you have somebody who's much better at this.
I'm sorry.
Because Shreds doesn't like to jump in and interrupt. But Valeria probably should have been doing this from the get-go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Shreds is not here right now, apparently.
I'm here.
Dread!
Then talk.
I don't know what to say.
You weren't listening, were you?
No, I was.
She just said it.
You can ask them which of them wants to go to Grimal. Or is comfortable going to Grimal.
Okay, I'll ask that.
Great. Persuasion check. And are you gonna flat out offer a coin immediately?
Yes.
Okay, you can roll again. I mean, 25 is already great, but you have an advantage, essentially. Especially since you're rolling around in lots of coins.
I swear, maybe I should be looking into getting higher charisma.
I'm sorry.
No,
No, I
this
just auto say things.
Gray is much more used to roleplay.
Yup.
This is why I gave the warning last week about you guys would have to try and step up to fill in the void.
Yeah.
Anyway, especially with your immediately pulling out a pretty sizable amount of gold from your pouch, they're both willing to go. The chieftain makes the point that because Urk is a kobold, he's probably going to be viewed with more suspicion than Leaflet, even though halflings are somewhat rare on this continent.
Wait. Is the halfling the cleric?
Yes.
Yes.
We have another halfling cleric.
Another?
Another?
Yeah. The one that brought Biss back that was killed?
That was a dwarf.
Died.
Oh.
No, he was a hill dwarf.
My bad.
He was a hill dwarf, and I believe he was killed.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Killed in ritual combat.
He was killed when I was going?
No, he was killed while you were here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He was killed before you were killed because somebody took his place on the council. That's actually the seat the paladin took.
Of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, Leaflet's willing to help you out with your speak with the dead. He does ask for some more details. He understands. He has to cast it to oust the paladin.
Yep. The
Yeah.
paladin. So, Valeria, do you want to explain this, or do you want me to explain what Valeria explains? I'm kidding.
Either or.
Why don't you go ahead and try and explain Shreds so you can get some practice in?
Go for it.
Just give Leaflet the rough idea of what you guys' plan is once you get back to Grimal.
We're trying to have him thrown out of the Blood Council to avoid the war with
Verwyn.
in general.
With Verwyn.
So we can focus on the true
Leaflet chimes in while you're pausing. The void issues?
yes.
Okay, what are we trying to convince that the paladin did? Because I need to know what questions to ask the head. Do you need a reminder?
Want me to say it?
Go ahead and say it. Kayla's over here showing me shit.
Sorry. The paladin sent a army of orcs a month ago?
No.
Less or more than that?
Back in the winter, so this is more than 4 months. Or
About
more
a
than
few
3 months.
About a few months ago, and was also in charge of the void element. This is one of the heads of the orcs that died at the battle in Verowyn.
So we're overthrowing based on gross dishonorable misconduct.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I can't guarantee it'll stick, because sometimes they overlook this stuff, but
He's the one in charge of the void elemental that bother them.
oh, sure, they're aware of them. They're not too much of an issue on Ogrelaw right now, but the previous head council should have been made aware by now. The hags certainly wouldn't keep that a secret. They don't like outside forces meddling too much on Ogrelaw.
I mean, void elementals means the end of the world is actually pretty close, so...
Oh, we're aware. It's the end of the mortal plane, or material plane, but it's not necessarily the end of the world.
Doesn't that still affect Grimal at the very least?
Oh yeah. Like I said, the hags don't like things that meddle with Ogrelaw, so they would have told the council by now. Anyway...
Known that the paladin is one of the ones that's caused it?
I have no idea.
Alright then.
But hags have weird ways of looking into the future and the past and the present and things. Anyway. Yeah, I can help. I'm assuming we have to ride your Moorbounders back to Ohm, and then we'll head to Grimal from there?
Yeah. That probably would be the best way.
Okay, I will need compensation. I'm not interested in the gold, but instead, when we get to Grimal, I would like to have you commission something for me.
Such as?
I would like to have a new focus commissioned. And he holds up a small yew wand, as well as some armor.
So
It
we
is-
just need to pay for armor and a new arcane focus.
Not an arcane focus, but yes.
A druidic focus, sorry.
The chief chimes in. Technically speaking, the armor is a rite of passage, so in commissioning it for him, you will be considered no longer a student, but instead a full member of the commune.
Oh, okay.
An interesting means of circumventing our usual trials, but this is certainly a trial in its own right.
I mean, I don't see that being a problem. Do you guys?
No.
I'll give you the notes for what the armor entails, and you can have it commissioned. You don't need to be sending him back. That will be part of his trial as well. If he chooses to return, of course.
Oh.
And Leaflet gives a small bow towards the chief. Right. Well, I'm ready to head out as soon as Chief gives you the designs for the armor, and we can get going.
All right. Any other additional preparations we should do, guys?
You guys already have more than enough food to accommodate an additional mouth,
Mm-hmm.
even if it is a halfling mouth.
I know.
Levensies.
It's not.
11.
Second breakfast, levensies, afternoon tea, lunch.
Does you know about those?
I don't think so.
Apple. Yeah, the chief gives a like a list plus a sketch of what the armor should look like. It's pretty standard nature type theme. However, it is scale mail.
Oh, I
Mhm.
take it that's spendy.
It needs to be made out of non-metal in order to maintain their traditional practices.
Huh.
So yeah, it'll be a little bit more expensive than usual scale mail.
Okay. How are we on? Well, and by we, I mean Valeria.
Valeria and Abyss are both fine.
Okay.
Both still, yeah, they're both sitting on gold still. So
I
Oh,
am
help.
not. Therefore, okay. All right then. So I guess we just head out.
All right, so the first portion of the day is spent waiting on the design as well as negotiating. So we have 6 travel chunks again, assuming you guys don't do poorly. However, this time, because we're running a little short on time, I'm going to expedite it and just roll them all myself.
Okay.
2,
Just to see if
3,
anything
20, drop lowest, plus 7. Does that work? It did. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They all go well, and several of them are speeded up.
Woo!
So, 3 days of travel on the original. Two weeks, 8 months, 2 weeks, 3 days remaining. You do owe Adra a single week plus double for expedited.
So 2 doubled, which is 4.
Yep, 4 gold.
That's easy enough. I can just clock that.
And she hands over the Moorbounder because you guys technically purchased it.
Mm-hmm.
It's also expensive.
It is also expensive. That just means each of us can have a Moorbounder except one of us.
I think Lufier takes over at driving the other one.
Okay.
Just because he has a +2 and Abyss only has a +1.
That makes sense. Are you okay with that, Abyss?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, and this is back to Ohm. Okay. How well do we know how to get from Ohm to Ogrelal with a Moorbounder?
Home to Grimal.
To Grimal, yes. Sorry.
Abyss knows how to get out. Plus, you guys technically just have to go south.
Okay.
And Lufier knows direction good enough. Let's see.
Good
That's-
enough.
Yeah, good enough. This is another... So let's see, we'll say you guys made it in 2 days because you got 3 fast. It'll take you 4 days to get out of the swamp, and then to get to Grimal from there. It's another 2.5 days.
Okay.
Which
So,
means your timeline of 2 weeks, you've spent 6 days 6 days of your 2 weeks.
Hey, we made good time.
Yeah, it would have been a lot worse if you hadn't gotten the more bounders. Would have been
Yeah.
much more tight or just flat out late. Alright, so we got another 8 travel attempts for the 4 days of going mostly south.
Mhm.
Again, I will roll them just for speed's sake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wait, no, I gotta roll them as Chris or somebody else.
I mean, I can. I have a pretty high survival.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
All at advantage because Lufir's expert keen mind means he knows the direction well enough to keep you guys on track.
So what, 8?
Mm-hmm.
8 times?
1, 2, 3,
Fast,
4,
normal, fast,
5,
fast, fast,
6,
normal,
7.
fast, normal. That's mostly fast, so what would have been 4 days is cut down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8. So we'll say 4 days down to 3. Yeah, you guys are making good time. And now
Really good at survival.
I need everyone who is steering a cat to make 3 animal handling checks.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. And then Valeria as the third. Okay. You don't gain any time. You do lose a day. You guys are out of the Moorbounders' natural terrain, so their training is a little less obedient.
Mm-hmm.
So what would have been
She's
2.5
been
days
encouraging
is another
Safari.
3.
Another 3 survival?
No, it's another 3 days.
Oh.
You don't have to make survival checks. You're out of the swamp.
Gotcha.
Okay, you guys arrive back to Grimal with a staggering 5 days.
Alright.
And yeah, you didn't roll low enough during the swamp portion to encounter anything. And
That's good.
nobody seriously failed the animal handling because these are already tamed Moorbounders. The DC was 5, so you just barely skirted by with that 6. It lost you some time, especially since Lufir also failed that day. Yeah, your Moorbounders, thankfully already trained, have gotten you to Grimal.
Yay! Yeah!
Before you head to the council to report your findings and do all that, we're going to end session. But first,
Figured.
we'll do a little bit of bookkeeping here.
Alright.
So the special orders for both the focus and the armor comes to a total of... I need to look up the cost of scale. I don't think scale mail's that expensive. It's not.
Bless you.
Bless you.
I
I
don't.
think you guys heard Zelda from across the house.
I was gonna say I don't think I heard much.
Yeah, that was Zelda, and she's on the clear other side of the house.
Anyway, between the armor and the new casting focus, it comes to about 80 gold.
I'll do that.
Okay. Once that order has been placed, the leaflet is ready to go and present. However, like I said, we will leave session here, and we will pick up with the Any last loose ends that you guys want to get? Any evidence that you might want to try and find, or any additional accusers, perhaps?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll go ahead and wrap up session here. I know it's a little early, but
I
you
know
guys,
this is gonna take a minute.
you guys rolled well enough on the investigation to avoid the combat encounter with the spirits that were at that battlefield, and you rolled.
Oh.
Yeah, there were some not happy orcs about being led on a false mission.
I'd say so.
Yeah, they could have died without honor, so they were not happy about that. But because you met the 30 DC to find the one body that wasn't well done on that. You guys also didn't encounter much in the swamp aside from the bodies vine, as I have titled it.
I recognize the bodies in the water.
I will say the creature that you guys encountered was in fact a dire rat. Which they don't normally travel far from their other, so that would have turned into a swarm situation, which would have been interesting, but you avoided that encounter as well.
Yay. Big rat.
Oh shit, a rat.
It's a giant rat that makes all of the rules.
You dirty, dirty rat.
Anyway, we'll leave session here. Thank you to anybody who watched, and we will see you next time, whenever that is.